Welcome to the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. Category 6 is our standard category now. We had category 4, 3, 2 and 1. We have 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1 now. So category 6 are the first riders away. As you can see, they are in the purple jerseys. Here we go, category 5 underway. So that means we've had our first category 6 race start and our first category 5 race start on the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club ever. The elite category riders are away with 50.5 kilometers in distance, 425 meters of ascent to cover to get themselves into our race and finish and to decide the racing. At the moment, we have gone out with a bang. You can see the very front of the race is stretching. Then there's the group in the middle, and then at the back you see riders being trailed off here. It really, just look at that shape, the shape there. That says the pressure is on the front. The group in the middle, though, is getting some shelter. And if you're on the back getting distance, oh, what a horrible place to be. They are the 4, as you can see, behind. You can see the leaders in category 4, Howalaka, Conan, Clary, etc., coming as well. They are the riders in the red behind. So at the moment, category 4 and category 5 have overtaken category 6.
The gap now really strong in this category 1 race. We've got 2 riders, Fua and Guerra, tied together at the front of the race. Now they're working their way through what are the back markers in the category 2 race. We've got riders down the road. Now you can see that on the bottom left hand corner of your screen. In fact, we've got the leaders in category 4 and the leaders in category 5 further down the road at the head of the race. In fact, it's the leaders in category 4 that are currently at the head of the road.
This is the run for the finish. This is going to be our first finish for 2025. Clary got the run. They're coming behind, and this is about timing. Kokonan came from the back of the group to the front. It's going to be Nobley Kokonan taking the first victory of 2025 on the Sunday Race Club category 4 winner.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. مشاهدينا الكرام، متابعينا في كل مكان، أهلا وسهلا بكم.
انطلق السباق في هذه اللحظات للفئة الخامسة، وهنا الأعداد أكثر من الفئة السادسة. كما نرى ديانا كارلوس متواجدة، جاكلين البرازيلية متواجدة أيضا، بريجيت ضمن المنطلقات، كارلا إلنور متواجدة في الفئة الخامسة. أنا أمبريك تنطلق، أنا أمبريك فوق 500 واط، تصل إلى 600 واط تقريبا، يقترب إلى 600 واط. أنا أمبريك تنطلق، وأول المتسابقات الواصلات هي اللاعب جيني دانييل ميريكيتي تتصدر اليوم الانطلاقة كما تصدرت المراكز الأولى في الأسابيع الماضية، وفي سنة 2024 كانت المتصدرة في بطولة العالم بنسختها الرابعة التي كانت في العاصمة أبو ظبي. وبداية السبرنت للفئة الثانية، الآن انطلق السبرنت الثاني. الفئة الثانية عند الكيلو 11 و300 متر، ونهاية السبرنت عند الكيلو 11 و500. الأسماء المتواجدة تيفاني بينر اللاعبة التي كانت بطلة السبرنت في الأسبوع الماضي متواجدة اليوم بالفئة الثانية، كانت بطلة السبرنت الأسبوع الماضي للفئة الأولى. تيفاني بينر تنتقل إلى الفئة الثانية. روبرتا باسوان الآن تنطلق بعملية التاك عند السبرنت الثاني، وهنا المنافسة بين روبرتا وفرانسيسكا توماسي، ولكن روبرتا تنهيها بينها وبين فرانسيسكا. من سوف تصل أولا إلى نهاية الصعود؟ 200 متر، 100 متر على نهاية الصعود. الآن فيمك تنطلق فوق 400 واط، تصل إلى 400 واط. أنا أمريك خلفها مباشرة. نعم، أنا أمريك تنهيها بالمركز الأول. كاترين فورير تظهر الآن من جديد، تظهر اللاعبة كاترين فورير، تستعيد الذكريات القديمة وتنطلق من الخلف إلى الأمام. كاترين فورير في آخر 700 متر تنطلق مبكرة، وخلفها ميريل براوني. وأين اللاعبة ميري كيتي لكي ترد؟ الآن سوف تظهر. تكسل تنطلق بكل قوة، و400 واط تضغط وسرعة ترتفع إلى 45. الكل خلفها. هانا جوديل الآن خلفها، تعود هانا جوديل للتنافس مع تكسل، ولكن تكسل تنطلق وآخر 200 متر. هل تستطيع هانا أم نوفولي كوكونن إحدى اللاعبات الجيدات في السبرنت؟ نعم بالفعل، نوفولي كوكونن بطلة الفئة الرابعة في أول سباق من سباقات سنة 2025.
Hello and welcome to the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. We're here for qualifier race number 2 of 2025. It is January and I'm going to be with you all day for the Sunday Race Club. My name's Emma Martin. Matt Payne is not with me in the studio today because he's down at the British Cycling National Cyclocross Championships and he's announcer on the mic there. Well, who needs cyclocross when you've got virtual cycling? We're heading to Arabia today, and this is the first time the women have ever raced the Tel Marib course. 45 kilometres of racing, 532 metres of climbing. Along the way, there are 2 sprints and 4 climbs. Now, those segments all coming together for points, but well, the first climb comes at 12.2 kilometres. It's the Aquarium climb, a nice and steady warm-up. We drop down the other side into the Liwa Desert climb, full distance this time, not just the first part, but 2 kilometres of climbing there. We then transition it. Indeed, it is 14.4 kilometres to the base of the next climb. That's the Tel Marib climb. It is steep, 800 metres at 10%. We then drop down, we kick up again before we hit the Tel Marib dune climb. In fact, that's a nasty, nasty kicker there before they go into the dune climb. 1 kilometre at 10%, just over, before the rolling 5.3 kilometre run to the finish line. Now, the men first raced this course in June 2024. It was qualifier 3. Well, the women, they are stamping their authority on the Tel Marib course today for the first time ever. So 6 race starts today and we're down in the start pen with category 6. These are going to be our first riders out and on to the course. All individual riders on the start sheets today, 12 riders on the start sheets. Jessica Hamilton, who took the win in this category last week. She also took the sprint win and the climb overall, has progressed to category 5. So as you will see as we move through the show today, a number of movements jiggling and wiggling through the categories as we progress in this women's race. And in the men's, it's pretty similar as well, having taken a look at the start sheets. Now, Flores finished 4th. Driscoll is in here today. Birdie and Driscoll, who took 2nd place last week, the Irish rider. Rona Tanglian took 3rd. Veronica Arrayas took 5th. Lisa Hopkins is on the start line and Alzat is on the start line behind them. But at the moment, eyes are focused on category 6. We're in with Katrina May Ruby as they come out of the start pen. In fact, Driscoll comes out of the start pen in the lead, taking them out on that right-hand bend across the causeway and out on to the course here in Arabia. So Birdie and Driscoll leads out the category 6 women. She took 2nd place last week. Londano, Ruby, Flores, Hadjuk, Tanglian and Arrayas all in that group. In fact, it's a nice group. 7 riders sat in the group. 1 or 2 riders just not making it onto the back of the group out of the start pen, or choosing perhaps to have a steadier start today because the course that faces them is very back end heavy in terms of that climbing. Now, Driscoll tucking into the group. It's a good pace coming out here. So Sarah Jane Voos is here as well. Great to see her in the mix here. So 7 riders coming out of that pen and forming a lead group early on in this category C. Category 6 race. There you go. First mistake of the day. You may need to. We're going to have a little bingo caller today. How many mistakes can Emma make as she goes through the show? But tick that up and we'll move on. So Sarah Jane Voos is the rider moving on and pushing through here on the group. Now, 158 women on the start sheets today. I'm going to say that again. 158 women on the start sheets of the Sunday Race Club. It's the largest start sheet on the Women's Sunday Race Club ever seen. 141 women took to the start last week, so it is growing. Fabulous to see. If you're interested in coming and joining the Sunday Race Club, head over to mywhoosh.com, click on the events page, click on Sunday Race Club. Everything you need to join is there. So as the Category 6 women now head out onto the course, 2.5 kilometres is where the first sprint of the day comes. That's the Aldar HQ sprint. And the sprint competition in play in 2025, as we learnt last week. Now, the fastest time through the segment is what counts in the sprint competition. The top 5 times through each sprint segment score points, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In each category, and they are added together to give the overall sprint leader of the day. So there are indeed prizes to take each segment, but then there is an overall sprint category prize and an overall climb category prize as well. We're in with Rasha Zidane, and you can see a much steadier pace there. Paulina Goss is there as well, a little bit further back. These two riders having a steadier start to the race today. Now, Jessica Hamilton took the win in Category 6 last week. She also took the sprint overall and the climb overall. Absolutely dominant and well-deserved of that progression to Category 5. It's going to be interesting to see how the Kitty Hawk racing rider from New Zealand does with that move up. A lead group of 7 riders in the Category 6 race. Londono now taking a turn on the front. In fact, it's interesting because the riders are switching around here and helping each other out, working together, which is fabulous to see so early on in this race. 45 kilometres of racing, 532 metres of climbing face. These Category 6 races. The first main climb coming at 12.2 kilometres, but the gradient is rolling until they get there, and you'll be able to check out that gradient on the top right-hand corner of your screen. The yellow vertical line indicates the riders we are in with, the white line, the gradient. Well, let's take a look at Category 5. Kitty Hawk Racing, we said Jessica Hamilton was leading the charge for them. The rest of the riders in the mix, 12 riders on the start sheets in Category 5 today. Diana Corrales, who took the win in Category 5, she has progressed to Category 4 this week. In fact, Ferron and Arias, who also took top 5 positions, have also moved up. Now, Lisa Hopkins took 5th place in Category 5 last week. She's on the start sheets today. So is Fanuccicorn Sarasu. Juliet Narvaez is in here as well. Isabel Giraldo, Bridget Bremner, Angie Solazano is in here as well. So this should be a good race. Well, Sarasu is the rider leading the charge here at the moment with Lisa Hopkins. Jacqueline Kirchner in the mix as well. She's a strong rider. Really good to see her in the mix. And great to have her on board, the Brazilian rider. The big, look at that, a long stretch out of the pen, indicating there's a big pull going on at the front, and the rest of the riders just squeezing on, not wanting to have such a fast start. So trying to manage that energy, trying to manage that pace as they come out of the start pen. Bremner, Solazano, Hamilton, Gentili is in here, Hopkins, Kirchner, Sarasu, Alicia Fielder is in here as well. This is a good group of Category 5 races, and it's going to be really interesting to see how this race unfolds today. Now, the sprint in Category 5 was taken by Katie Bago last week. She's not on the start sheets today, so taking a week away from the Sunday Race Club. Diana Corrales, the rider who took the win in Category 5, also took the overall in that climbing competition last week. So looking like it could be well and truly a new set of riders on the top 3 steps today in Category 5. Lisa Hopkins, who took 5th place last week, I'm sure she is thinking about how she can move up that podium. But she's got some fabulous competition in here. Bremner, Sarasu, Giraldo, Solazano, Fielder, Narvaez, all tightly in this group. In fact, the Category 5 women all coming out of that start pen together and all forming one group on the road. So the data you can see on your screen, let's just take a little look around the screen. On the top right-hand corner is the road that is coming up and the gradient that is coming up for our riders. As we said, as category 5 were coming out of the start pen, the yellow vertical line indicating where the riders are on that route. They're about to come up to a dip and a rise in the road, as you can see. The zones underneath indicate the level of effort that the rider we are in with at the moment is riding at. So Lisa Hopkins currently fluctuating between zone 3 and zone 4. It'll light up red when they really start to kick and really start to work, and it really gives you a good indication of how hard the riders are working at the point in time specific to them. We drop in with Isabel Giraldo, so we are moving between the riders on the right-hand side column, the blue indicating which rider we are in with, and that's important because that gives you an indication it's that rider's stats and statistics that you have on the screen in front of you. So at the moment, Isabel Giraldo, 138 watts in green because she's in the draft. It clicks to white when she's out of the draft. The time elapsed in the race, her heart rate and her cadence. So you will see that it is indeed specific to the rider. And as we change riders on the right-hand side, the information changes and switches to that new riders. There we go. Angie Solorzano's stats are now up on the screen in front of you. Now, you must remember things like heart rate, very, very personal and individual to the rider. So if you'll see Solorzano at 176 and we switch to Sarah Sue, for example, and her heart rate was 154, it doesn't mean that one of the riders is working harder than the other necessarily. It just literally means that their heart rate is personal to them. On the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, you have the satellite navigation view of the course. You can see they're coming up to the roundabout. And on the other side of that roundabout is the first sprint. So category 5 away and heading towards that first sprint of the day. Category 4 down in the start pen. It's good to see the pedal queens here. Gina De Gracia, Noveline Kokkonen and Tanya Holweiler representing the pedal queens. Now, Kokkonen took the win in category 4 last week. Holweiler second place. So the pedal queens, phenomenally strong team in this category and have already shown dominance. Now, Angie Christina Arias has come up from category 5, so is Diana Corrales, and so is Sandra Ferron as well. So 3 riders progressing into category 4. Emma Sonesson is also here. She took 5th place last week alongside, well, as you can see, 34 riders on the start sheets today in category 4. They are packing the pen. Darine Chu is the rider we are in with as they come out of the pen, and it's a steady start actually, though Palma Mongeli is pushing on a little bit, just wanting to ensure that she is right up at the front of the group because the group is going to get running and rolling very quickly. Dominique Charlebois is in there, Gabrielle Marshall as well, Carolina Chudzekowicz is here too, Gina De Gracia ensuring that she is right where she needs to be, so is Kolkowitz. Brilliant to see this pack come out of the pen, and fabulous to see so many category 4 riders on the start sheets today. Now, the sprint last week, the overall sprint in category 4 was taken by Natalia Idzik. The overall climb was indeed Hannah Gull, and Goodall moving up to category 3. Really strong performance there. And I think one of the really interesting things is there's, I know I had a bit of an assumption when we went into the Sunday Race Club last week that the climbs would be taken by the leader in the race and the rider who won the race. Not necessarily true. That plays out in the men's and the women's race. So the climbs being taken and targeted by riders, not necessarily up for the overall. Likewise, the sprints as well. So the sprint was indeed Idzik. Idzik not focusing on the overall last week, focusing very much on the sprints, not finishing in the top 5, but taking that sprint competition. So fabulous to see our riders choosing what they are going to focus on the Sunday Race Club, whether that's sprinting, climbing, or the overall GC competition. Catherine Tompkinson in the mix here. Johanna Warren is here in this category as well. I'll tell you, there's some really strong riders and racers in here. Nikki Lloyd is in the mix, as well as Elena Lopez. And Danny Giraldo is here as well. So really looking forward to seeing what these riders and racers do. Now, Category 5 and Category 6 have already been through the Aldar HQ Sprint. Claudia Gentili taking the sprint for Category 5 against, it was a tight competition, Isabella Giraldo and Jessica Hamilton. Hamilton obviously targeting it in Category 6 last week and moving up and trying to show some strength in her new category this week. In Category 6, Berdian Driscoll takes a sprint. Phenomenal performance from Berdian. 6.1 watts per kilo average. She put out 400 watts for the sprint average. Phenomenal. Katrina May Ruby and Rona Tanglian trying to challenge her in Category 6, but Driscoll on the top spot in sprint number 1. So Category 4 rolling through the Ferrari showroom. Gabrielle Marshall is the rider we are in with at the moment. And there you go. That gives a really good indication of the differentiation between heart rates. Marshall's heart rate 136. Last time we were talking about heart rates, they were up in the 170s in the category we were in. There's a bit of a push coming on the front, actually, of Category 4 at the moment. They're only 1.9 kilometres into this 45-kilometre race, and it's Ella Vink who wants to get things motoring a little bit here. So Vink just trying to push on a bit. Obviously not happy with the pace of this Category 4 race, which, to be honest, very steady out of the start pen today. So good to see our categories rolling. Great to see the categories 4, 5 and 6 now out of the start pen and on to this Tel Marib course. Now, the first part of this course, very similar to the rollout from last week, but we changed quite quickly. The Aquarium climb comes at 12.2 kilometres, the Leeward Desert climb at 19.6, and then we transition into Tel Marib itself. Well, the Category 3 riders are down in the start pen. We have 3 teams represented today. Grind My Gears, Stefani Piccolo is leading the Grind My Gears squad. Lucy Young, the Recorba squad, and Golden Light, well, Team Golden Light, she's ever present. Category 3, 42 riders in Category 3. I'm going to say that again because I think it has rocked some of the Category 3 riders' worlds as well. 42 riders in Category 3. 3 teams. A plethora of nations represented, from New Zealand to the Netherlands, the United States to Germany, Sweden, Finland, Colombia and the Philippines. It is a huge race field and so competitive. Rebecca Johnson, strong climber. Hannah Goodall come up from earlier categories, so Category 4. Valentina de Senya joined the Sunday Race Club a few weeks ago, and she's been putting in some really strong performances. Loretta Carnes is a rider who's been with the Sunday Race Club for a long time and has regularly put in strong performances. Gemma Daniels, Angelica Altamarino, Rosalina Barragan is here, Sarah Carullis, Brittany Litton is in the mix. Stephanie Briggs, a Canadian rider, seen her doing really well on the Echelon Racing League. It's fabulous to have her on the Sunday Race Club. Really looking forward to seeing what she can do. Wendy McAlpine, Kimberly Miller, Lee Sophie Ramot is here. Manuela Vasquez. Femke van der Ville is here as well. Claudia Hyde, Barbara Bulwala. There are such strong riders in the group. And Anna Embring took 3rd place last week. Julia Walkenhurst took 2nd. Kim Bonilla took 4th. They are all in here. As we drop in with Balara, you can see there the concentration, making sure she's staying in the group. There are only 900 metres into the race, one rider just dropped off the back of the group as they go around that roundabout. It's a big, big group, and you really need to concentrate to stay in that pack. You want your numbers green. Bulwara, take a look at that, 167 watts, 200 watts, but it's green, green, green all the way because she is sat in that group. She's in the draft exactly where she needs to be. Jenny Daniel, Julia Montgomery, Desenia Miller, Hadlock, all in the group. Nice and tightly spread right the way across the road, indicating the pack rolling at a very similar pace to each other. Gina Van Rossum is in here as well. And some of these riders have been racing some of the other series on MyWhoosh. So just talked recently there about Stephanie Briggs being part and parcel of that echelon racing lead, the Canadian rider, looking for a qualification ride, I imagine, for that Canadian National Cycling Esports Championships, which is the weekend of the 8th and 9th of February on MyWhoosh. But some of the other riders in here, so Gina Van Rossum, for example, riding the Tour de Monde, doing very well. So a lot going on for our riders at the moment, and there's possibly some fairly tired legs in the mix at the moment. But you never know. Sometimes you wake up thinking, well, I've been riding a lot this week. My legs could suffer, and you have a phenomenal day. You just have to wait and see what happens. Kate McLeod in the mix, Stefani Piccolo, Leonie Disjuska is in there as well. Julia Montgomery has been riding well. Always good to see. Now, Montgomery took the sprint classification last week, so she was going very strongly and obviously targeting that. Anna Embring took the climb overall. Now, Embring finished third in the overall competition. Aileen Francisco da Silva took the win in Category 3 last week. She's moved up to Category 2. I said there was a lot of movement and some juggling around categories this week. Angelica Altamarino, she always rides strongly, the Philippines rider, and you can see her there tucked tightly in the group. But da Silva moving up into Category 2. She took the overall win, but as I said, Montgomery took the sprint and Embring took the climb. So 3 different riders in Category 3, picking up the 3 different competitions. And take a look, there we go, straight through the sprint this time round. And Desenia absolutely nailing that, really wanting to take the points there and coming through right at the front of the pack. Now, we often talk that it's not necessarily the first rider over the line who's the fastest rider. Quite often the technique that the riders will use is to come from the back of the group, and we use the draft through the group to set the fastest sprint time. Valentina Desenia we saw go off the front and put out some phenomenal power with Catherine Montoya. In fact, Desenia 11.8 watts per kilo average through the sprint, Montoya 11.6, but neither of them have taken the top spot or the fastest time through the sprint. Sarah Carolus, who came from the back of the group and finished behind them, has taken the fastest time. Her average watts per kilo, 10.3. Draft, draft, draft every time. Well, I can also confirm that Category 4 have been through the sprint, and Natalia Idzik is doing what Natalia Idzik does, or at least what she did last week. She set the fastest time in Category 4. Johanna Warren, the second fastest time. Novelin Kukkonen, the third. Those riders will all be in the points in that Category 4 competition, and it's going to be interesting to see whether Idzik continues with her dominance in those sprints. Well, Category 5 are indeed on this small climb at 9.2 kilometres into the course, and this is just one of the small rolling climbs on the course before they get to the Aquarium climb at 12.2. And well, she's decided she's going to push on today in this Category 5, so she's moved up from Category 6 to Category 5, and it's looking like she's really going to see how well and how far she can push in the new category. So Hamilton pushing on here, Bridget Bremner in 2, Alicia Fielder in 3, Isabella Giraldo in 4, 4 and Sarasu in 5. Those riders all together as part and parcel of the group behind. So Hamilton pushing on clear, the group chasing behind in category 5. In category 6, they're at 10.6 kilometres into the race, and it's looking like the group of 7 riders still together. Category 4 on the bottom left-hand corner of your screen at 7 kilometres. Big group, and you can indeed see Natalia Idzik sat in there in the green skin suit, indicating that she is leading that sprint competition in category 4. On the right-hand side of your screen at 4.4 kilometres into the race, well, that is category 3. Carolus in that green skin suit and the pack rolling tightly. Category 4 and Category 3 on your screens at the moment gives you the indication we've got 2 more race fields to get out of the start pen today. So the riders pushing on now, 4.8 kilometres covered for category 3. We're in with Gina Van Rossum, Hannah Goodall, Guerrier is there, Montoya is there as well. These riders towards the back of the group, just keeping an eye on what is happening, and being on the back of the group, not necessarily a bad thing at all. Often a good thing. And there we go, Gina Van Rossum. We drop into her pain cave and in with her at the moment. So at the back of the group, you can indeed keep an eye on what is going on. You can make sure and ensure you are in the draft and conserving energy. The rider's just pushing on this small rise of 5.1k. And we did say it's slightly rolling this start. It's just an average gradient. It's looking like shy of 3%, and they come to the top of the bridge very quickly in the city. But you can see how it's stretched the group. And one of the visuals to watch if you are new to the Sunday Race Club and you want to see the dynamics in the group and what is happening is that bottom left-hand graphic. And you can see just one rider now being distanced off the back of the Category 3 group. Well, Category 2 down in the start pen. And you can see there the seconds now ticking down. It's a big race field, 35 riders on the start sheets in Category 2. Tiffany Penner took the win here last week. 2 teams, the core squad, Kalman, Kolkowitz, Field and Giovanni. That is a list of 4 riders. Kolkowitz took 4th last week. Kalman took 5th. Profiterolling. You can't beat that name, can you? And Emily Nyquist is leading the charge for the Profiterolling squad from the United States. Fabulous to see her in the mix as well. She too was on that start sheet for the Echelon Racing League yesterday, and indeed did take a top 10 position. Now, De Silva, Aileen Francisco De Silva has come up from Category 3. Great to see her. Jenny Eck had a great performance, the rider from Finland last week, 3rd place. Tiffany Penner from Canada took the win. Fabulous to see. In the sprint competition in Category 2, it was Kate Tridden who took the title of the best sprinter of the day. And Tiffany Penner, who took the win, also took the overall climbing competition, just showing where she won that race. So Sophie Giovanni is the rider we are in with at the moment. Great to see her rolling. Fabulous to see her in the mix here. Olberg is here, London is here. Mina Koinston is the rider we are in with at the moment. Brilliant to see her. Serena Vittori is there as well. Lots of regular names. Dana Wagner. Oh, congratulations to Dana Wagner. She raced the her national cyclocross competition, and if you follow her social media feed, she also raced the World Masters at cyclocross earlier on in the year. She took 2nd place in the national competition. So in the German Masters cyclocross competition. She took second place. She'll tell you she had lots of spills and thrills, and it was an interesting race. But congratulations to her, and fabulous to see our riders and racers competing in multiple disciplines. So brilliant to see her. Mina Coinsland, you can see her on the screen. Fabulous to have Mina in the competition here in category 2. Some of you will know that Mina was part and parcel of the category 1 squad and very dominant in that category. But the eagle-eyed amongst you, and if you follow Mina's social media, you will know Mina Coinsland is expecting this year. Congratulations, Mina. Fabulous news, and great to see you continuing to race and ride. And if you want to follow Mina Coinsland on social media, on Instagram, she is indeed charting her pregnancy and her riding and racing, and some really, really interesting stuff. So if you are interested in how your body changes, how you might need to train, or how you might need to adapt to racing, I would really recommend following Mina Coinsland and just seeing what she is doing and how she is doing that. Now, Holly Bergin, in this category 2 pack, she was part and parcel of category 3 last week. So now having moved up here, she's been riding really strongly on the Tour de Monde, and was... when I was looking at the overall earlier on in the week, was on the podium. I think she was in 3rd place overall. I know she's been riding and racing a lot recently, and probably looking for some fresh legs somewhere. Well, Giovanni Tridin, Karamani in here, Kasani in here, Manshandi in here, Stefani Sanchez in here as well. Really a packed category 2 race field. And I think it's always really interesting to see the riders from around the world. So, whether that's Gonzalez Rua from Colombia and Dorothy Gonzalez Rua. Look at that popping up on our screen. She's got a phenomenal sprint on her. Really, really strong. And I would expect her to be battling with Kate Tridden this week for that sprint competition as well, if that is her goal. But you really you don't want to take Gonzalez Rua to the finish line with you, because she really can kick, and she is excellent at her timing. Now, Gina Ricciardo is putting on a big push at the front here. This is interesting. So at the 2.3 kilometre marker, Gina Ricciardo pushing on. Going to be interesting to see whether this is a moment to try and animate the race, or to go through the sprint first. A little bit of animation would be good, but they are very steady state, the category 2 riders, 35 of them out of the pen. We're down in the category 1 pen, 23 riders are awaiting, and we're in with Catherine Fua. Fua second last week in that phenomenal effort between her and Gabriela Guerra. Guerra part and parcel of the Thundercats squad on our screens. Ablock International, it's Holdcroft, Soderstrom and Larson. Holdcroft and Soderstrom had an absolute battle in the sprint competition last week. Sweat Sensations, Velt and Bruni are here today. And the Thundercats, Guerra, Menendez, Kolchinsky, Biarhead and Columbi. And I'll tell you something, those Thundercats took 3 of the top 5 positions last week. Guerra taking the win against Fua in that epic battle. Celine Columbi taking 3rd. Marlene Biarhead taking 4th. 5th place went to Mika Soderstrom last week, as we watched the Category 1 riders head out of the start pen. Kate McCarthy, the reigning world champion, is here. Biarhead, Tomasi, who's been getting better and better. Cornelia Engstrom, Mika Soderstrom, Amelia Velt, Kelsey Jade Van Schoor. All in the mix. Kristen Kolchinsky is here, as well as Merle Bruni. It's a strong pack of Category 1 riders heading out across the boardwalk and on to the course. All 6 of our race categories now out of the start pen. Catherine Fua, who we are in with at the moment, was second to Guerra last week, but she did take the climb competition, strongest on that climbing sections last week. Now, in the sprint competition in Category 1, Mika Soderstrom and Maria Holdcroft, the teammates on Ablock International, just showed how competitive teammates can be, because it was Holdcroft versus Soderstrom in the sprints. In the end, it was Mika Soderstrom who took the overall sprint competition from Maria Holdcroft, but they did trade places along the way. Soderstrom on the front of the pack. A nice steady start for the Category 1 women coming out of the start pen today. Category 2 have now been through the Aldar HQ sprint, and Pia Kuma picking up that sprint very dominantly actually in that category. So Lisa Hermansson in the bunch, surrounded by her Swedish teammates. Sweden ever dominant in cycling esports, and 6 women in that from Sweden representing their country at the World Championships, just showing you the dominance of Scandinavia. And really good to see the other countries getting in the mix and really trying to mix it up somewhat. But Holcroft is here, Fua is here, Tomasi up the front of the group. But it's such a steady start at the moment in Category 1. Gabby Nordin, interesting to see Nordin moving up. She moved up to Category 1, and I think at the end of last year she was very strong in Category 2. Great to see her coming back to form for 2025 and being part and parcel of the mix here in Category 1 for the Sunday Race Club. Amelia Velt has been busy racing, and great to see her here. Elise Gallegos moving up into Category 1 as well. She has been really, really strong on the Echelon Racing League. She has got to be targeting the USA National Championships that first weekend in February. That's coming up very, very quickly. Stephanie Sidlick is there as well from the USA. Kristen Kulczynski is in here from the USA. And those riders really got to be thinking about that. But great to see Elise Gallegos coming back into some superb form and racing really strongly. Another rider who's been racing really strongly, Celine Columbi. She's been racing that Echelon Racing League for the last couple of weeks as well on a Saturday, and then coming into the Sunday Race Club. And her back-to-back form is really, really good. We know she's a phenomenal endurance athlete, but she's really showing that. Last weekend, she won the Echelon Racing League on the Saturday, and then she took 3rd place on the Sunday Race Club on the Sunday, just showing her level of consistency and how that endurance outdoors pays off when racing virtual cycling indoors. She did indeed take the start line yesterday on the Echelon Racing League as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how her legs go today. But Maria Holcroft literally launching herself through the pack on the sprint. Bridget Falensky, the rider, pushing on her wheel at the moment and making use of the draft, going to come up and over the top for the end of the sprint. The question is, who is the fastest sprinter in Category 1 and who got their technique right? Well, I can tell you, Holdcroft launched the sprint from further back in the group, but Falensky running into the back of her wheel and coming up over the top took the top spot. So Bridget Falensky has the top spot in Category 1, and the fastest time through the Aldar HQ sprint today, 13.367 of a second. Well, that's Category 1. Pia Kuma doing an outstanding job in Category 2. Take a look at that second spot. Maria Holdcroft, well, we know she's strong. So is Mika Soderstrom, but they have to settle for 2nd and 3rd place and lower points in that Category 1 sprint competition. Linda Sarmiento and Mandana Degamashandi, 2nd and 3rd in Category 2. Lisa Hermansson putting in a good sprint in Category 1 for 7th. Svanström, Rona and Denton are all in Category 2, round out the top 10. And I can tell you, Sarah Carolus, who took the win in the sprint in Category 3, in 11th place overall. So fabulous time from her as well. Really good to see. Natalia Idzik taking the top spot towards that Aquarium climb. The women out on the course, and this course, the first time the women have been out on Tel Marib. 532 metres of climbing overall, but a large percentage, in fact, I would argue the hardest climbs coming at the end of this race. So 34 kilometres onwards is where the women hit the Tel Marib climbing sections, and 2 of those climbs categorised, but they're not the only climbs in that section. So the first Tel Marib climb, 800 metres, 10%. The second Tel Marib June climb, these are the 2 categorised climbs, 1 kilometre, over 10%. And there are more climbs along the way. So the category 1 riders at that 5.1 kilometre marker, they're just coming to the top of the climb, and it's just a bridge in the city. I say just a bridge in the city. The women making the most of all of the gradient changes here on the Sunday Race Cup. But the category 1 pack you can see on the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, all still together. Mary Kate McCarthy, there you go, in the screen. Take a look at what's hung up on the side. Yes, that is a real-life World Championship jersey, and her avatar on the screen wearing those stripes as well. Kate McCarthy, the World Champion, looking good on the screen. And I'll tell you what, she must be really pleased with that jersey as well. So McCarthy, Hermansen, Tomasi, Van Hove, Nordin, Falensky, Engstrom, Holdcroft, all in the group. And 23 riders. I get my numbers the right way around. There you go. You remember that bingo we were playing at the front? Mark up number 2. 23 riders in this group, not 32 riders. Get your numbers the right way around, Emma. But Kate McCarthy tightly in the middle of that group, and you can see those rainbow bands really standing out from the group. And the other thing standing out from the group is that green skin suit, and that is our sprint leader at the moment. So Giraldo here and Bremner, Suribayo, 3 riders. Looking at that. So category 5 is where we have just dropped into. Category 5 as we are watching them at the 19.4 kilometre marker. So they are up and over the Aquarium climb. They are down the other side. And they are heading into the Liwa Desert climb. We've got a group of 3 riders clear, and Category 5 have caught up to Category 6, who started 5 minutes before them, and have gone over the top as they go underneath the polka dot banner, signifying the start of the Liwa Desert climb. It was indeed Bremner and Suribayo who were in that group. Now, Category 3 coming towards the top of the Aquarium climb at the 15.3 kilometre marker. That is the polka dot banner signifying the top of the Aquarium climb. It's Van der Vie who is coming up and underneath the banner to start with, but Anna Embring, Julia Montgomery, Lee-Sophie Ramble are there as well. Alpine is there too. These riders all pushing on in the Category 3 race. This is looking to be really interesting. The Aquarium climb, it is 3.2 kilometres in length with an average gradient of 2.5%, but it is done damage to this huge Category 3 group. 42 riders in this group, and you can see now 3 clear groups on the road on the screen. The first group, look at that. Julia Montgomery, Julia Walkenhurst, Wendy McAlpine leading the group, but it's stretched back, and the riders on the back are going to need to push now on this downhill section to come back into contention, and they really do not want to miss this move now, because this could be an instrumental move, because they drop down the Aquarium climb and they transition straight into the Liwa Desert climb. These riders need to squeeze. The riders on the back, it's Stefani Piccolo, it's Manuela Vasquez. They are 4 seconds back. They need to close the gap, and close the gap quickly, or this race is over and the front group will move away. Gemma Daniels, Angel Hadlock also off the back, and it's interesting here. So Vasquez and Piccolo are 4 seconds off. Hadlock is 2 seconds behind them. These riders are the riders who probably stand a chance to get back on. I think Carolus, who is 8 seconds back, and Daniels, who's 8 seconds back with her, are going to struggle to get back into the group now. And in fact, actually, as this group now roll, Hadlock off the pace. She's not going to make connection with the group. And it's going to be really interesting to take a look. There is Angel Hadlock, and you can see the work and the effort on her face, and struggling to catch the group, taking a breath, taking some recovery, and obviously in need. So Hadlock in the group on the left-hand side of your screen. That's the Category 3 race. On the right-hand side of your screen at 19.7 kilometres, yep, they are heading up the Liwa Desert Climb. This is the Category 4 race. And you can see Gina de Grazia, Maria Wilhelm, Catherine Tompkinson, Natalia Idzik, Elena Lopez, Holweiler are all in that leading group. Just coming up onto Ruby, the Category 6 rider who they're going past. But it's a big group, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 riders still in this leading group in Category 4. We know we said it was a big group coming out the start pen of 34 riders. But Category 4 really, really strong. They're on the Liwa Desert Climb now. They're up and over the Aquarium Climb, and 7 riders still in contention. Natalia Idzik on our screen, the rider who is in that green skin suit. Because she holds those points in the sprint competition. The polka dot skin suit, Tanya Holweiler, that says to you that she set the fastest time in Category 4 up the Aquarium Climb, and hence has that on her back because she has the most points in that sprint competition so far. Ulberg on the left-hand side of your screen, leading the Category 2 riders up on to the Aquarium Climb. It's been instrumental in the other race fields, and you can see it's about to become instrumental in Category 2. Look at the tail on that Comet as Ulberg leads the charge. On the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, you can see the damage being done. There's one big group going away, the tail of riders behind. The Aquarium Climb really doing some damage to these groups today. As a quick update, so Anna Embring setting the fastest time at the moment on the Aquarium Climb in Category 3. In fact, she's at the moment set the fastest time overall. Tanya Holweiler in the polka dot skin suit in Category 4. In Category 5, Amy Sudibayo is there. She set the fastest time ahead of Bridget Bremner. And in Category 6, wow, Rona Tangen doing the business on the climb today. So Category 2 on the Aquarium Climb. Jermaine Prado there, just trying to get herself sorted and settled down and cooling down, I imagine. That's what you want at the moment. You want the fan on, you want a breeze on you, and you want to be as cool as possible. There you go. She's just adjusting the fan because what might have been a comfortable environment earlier on, the second you get in this group and on the climb, you need as much air circulating around you as you can get. And Prado, we know Jermaine Prado is a really, really strong rider. She's been national champion on the road in the Philippines, and she is regularly racing on the Sunday Race Club. Always fabulous to see her. We always know she will give absolutely everything on the line in a race, but she's right in the middle of a serious field of class riders. Denton, Sanchez, Field are there. In fact, Sanchez is one of the riders just off the back now. Stefania Sanchez has been distanced by the group. So is Dana Davidson. Osterby is there as well as Ricardo. Kasani has been distanced off the group as well as Ricardo. They're only 2 seconds from Sanchez, and I think we're going to see a second group form on the road. But they are indeed 12 seconds behind the leading group at the moment. Manshandi is in the leading group, so is Beltran and Karamani, Field and Wagner, Kuma and London. This is the leading group in category 2. And look at the size of it. It's huge. They are on the mid slopes of the Aquarium climb. Now, the Aquarium climb is quite long, 3.2 kilometres, but it only has an average gradient of 2.5%. There are some very flat sections on it. There are some steeper sections towards the top, and that's where we tend to see the main moves go on the Aquarium climb, but it does do damage along the way. The gradual climbing really does cause attrition to the group. Well, that's what's happening in category 2 at the moment. The attrition to the group is evident. In category 1, they're not on the climb yet. They are in the foothills of the Aquarium climb, and they are all
spotlight
together at the moment. Donna Wagner, category 2, they're on the climb. Category 3 are on the Liwa climb. Category 4, we're in Regina de Grazia. They are indeed at the top. But I tell you what, let's go for something new again. We had 6 categories. That was new last week. This week, rider highlight.
Hi, I'm Lisa. I live in Sweden. I'm a coach here on MyWhoosh. Belgium, definitely the short, punchy climbs. Definitely my son. He's always there supporting me, asking me what position I'm in, why am I not going faster, am I winning? My favorite snack post-race is definitely pizza. The Sunday pizza is almost as much tradition as the Sunday race club. There's just too many to choose from. That's one of the amazing things. All the people you get to know and the community, friends from all over the world, really. Hang in there. It never gets easier, you only get better, and try to enjoy the ride and have fun. SRC in 2 words, brutal racing. How do I celebrate a success? Double fist, maybe? But usually I'm just so exhausted, I can't barely close the event and just, exhausted.
Well, fabulous to hear from Lisa and to have our very first rider spotlight. I cannot wait to have more of those later and to see who we get and what we get here. I'm just loving the idea of the family sitting down to pizza after the Sunday Race Club each week, and I love a good tradition, and that sounds to me like one of the Hermansen family traditions as well, so great to see. Now, part and parcel of the pack, the riders really pushing on at the moment in category 1 at the 12.8 kilometre marker, and we really are going to need to see what this climb does, because I think, well, we've seen it happen in other categories, that the group is splitting, and I think that's what we're going to start to see here, but well, it depends on who is on the front of the group and who is going to push. And let's just take a look. So the Category 1 pack, we've got one rider just dropped off the back, and it may well indeed be Lisa Hermansen. We saw her in difficulty on the back of the group. I can tell you, she raced the Echelon Racing League yesterday and put in a storming performance. She may well have tired legs, but no, actually, do you know what? It's not. She is in the mix, and going to take a little bit of a look in a minute and see who we can see off the back of the group. But it is quite an interesting move because the Aquarium climb is always deceptive, and it is deceptive and happening. Just bear with me one moment as we watch these riders hit the climb. Well, the Aquarium climb causing similar issues in the Category 1 race, and that's because it's McCarthy pushing on the front. So Kate McCarthy pushing on the front. Gabby Guerra, we can see on the screen, and you can see up and out the saddle, level of concentration, trying to go with McCarthy. Catherine Fua on Guerra's wheel. She's hugging it, and she's stuck to it like glue. Jacinia Menendez also there as well. So these four riders really starting to pull away from the rest of the group in this Category 1 race. There's a real stretch now as McCarthy goes underneath the polka dot banner. She's going underneath that banner, signifying that she's the first rider at the top of the Aquarium climb. But is she the fastest? Will she take the top spot and that polka dot skin suit? Yes, she does. Guerra goes through. With Fua, those three riders pretty much in contention at the front. Then Jacinia Menendez 2 seconds back. Merle Bruni 6 seconds back. It really is now a case of can they push and can Bruni get back on? Holdcroft, Columbi, Soderstrom, Bassoni, Tomasi, Van Shore, Gallegos, Sidlik, Filensky, all through and pushing on that Aquarium climb. And you can see there McCarthy setting the fastest time, 5 minutes 29 seconds. Guerra just half a second slower. Fua 1.3 seconds back. Jacinia Menendez, Merle Bruni, Maria Holdcroft, all here. Celine Columbi 7th through the climb in terms of time. Tiffany Penner setting the fastest time in category 2, 38 seconds slower than McCarthy, and those riders really pushing on. So Penner, Colquitz, Lundin and Eck, the riders in category 2. Just as a reminder, it was Anna Embring from Femke van der Veer in category 3 on the Aquarium climb, and the riders now pushing on. And you can see this group starting to form. Bruni 4 seconds back, but at the moment we have Fua, McCarthy, Menendez and Guerra, 4 riders at the front of the race in the category 1 because the Aquarium climb, that is what has done it. Well, category 1 on the left-hand side of your screen, 4 riders clear, 6 seconds back to the chasing group, and is a chasing group. So Bruni in between the group and, well, the chasing group and the front group, but it's looking like Columbia Holdcroft, Soderstrom, the 3 riders coming up to the back wheel of Merle Bruni, may well sweep her up on this descent, and if this group could all come back together again, it would be a really big group. But they are coming down the other side of the Aquarium climb. They're going to hit the base and then they go onto the Leeward Desert climb. It's another short, steep climb. 2 kilometers in length, 3.5% average gradient, but that is deceptive because there is a flat platform between 2 sharp climbs on that Leeward Desert climb. Bruni closing down the gap now. She's bringing the group back as well. So the 4 riders at the front of the category 1 race now being made 5 because Merle Bruni is back on board. And I think we're going to see 8 riders in that leading group very shortly as the other 3 make connection. Well, in category 2, this is the leading group at 21.1 kilometres into the race. They are coming towards the top of the Leeward Desert climb. This is a big group, and you can see how short and sharp these climbs are. I said it was an average gradient of 3.5. It's over 4% at the moment, but Colquitz, Poulsen, Haag, Tridin, Eck, Field, Giovanni, Ulberg, Kalman, all in the mix here. Poulsen is here as well, but it's Tiffany Penner who is at the front of the pack in the polka dot skin suit. She wants to set the fastest time again on the Leeward Desert climb, the second of the 4 categorized climbs today. She wants to hold on to that polka dot skin suit, and well, she is really trying to do that. Dorothy Gonzalez Rua is giving chase, and in giving chase, will she set a faster time? That is going to be interesting to see when they get underneath that polka dot banner. There we go, they're under. Penner's time faster than Gonzalez Rua's. Tiffany Penner is going to keep that polka dot skin suit in category 2. So Tiffany Penner, Gonzalez Rua, Poulsen and Haag, the riders over the top. The 2 riders clear at the moment, Penner and Gonzalez Rua, just 3 seconds shy of the group behind, but the group behind will roll into the back of Penner and Gonzalez Rua. And then we are going to have a group of, wow, it's a big group of riders, 18, I think, at last count, underneath that polka dot banner together. So category 2, it's smaller than it started, but it's still a big group on the right-hand side of your screen. On the left-hand side of your screen, Merle Bruni, Catherine Fua, Holdcroft, Guerra, McCarthy, they are all back together again as they go into the base of the Leeward Desert climb. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 riders in the leading group in category 1. No, make that 8, but Jacinia Menendez, she is here. Tomasi, there's 6. Well, look at that. Tomasi, Van Schuur, Bassoni, just 6 seconds back. They really are trying to get back on, but this climb now, the leading group, I undoubtedly are going to start pushing. And well, when the front group in category 1 start pushing, the splits start happening. So Tomasi and Bassoni are pushing on the climb at the moment. They can see the leading group ahead of them. Bassoni just off the back of these two. So Tomasi and Van Shore, the two riders pushing on here. Roberta Bassoni just off the back here. Now, let's not forget, this year, the top 10 in each of the categories individually get prize money, not the top 5. So riders pushing and racing for those top 10 positions. Heading through the Tel Morib sprint at the 29.8 kilometre marker. Well, that is category 5, and Geraldo Siribayo and Bremner are neck and neck still. Claudia Gentili just 10 seconds back, doing a sterling job of trying to chase back on, but category 4 have swept up and are coming towards the top front group of category 5. Natalia Idzik from category 4 wanting to keep that sprint jersey, pushing on through that sprint, and take a look at the riders lined out behind her. It's a real mix of category 4 and category 5 riders at the head of the race today. Well, I say at the head of the race today, it was indeed category 6 who were the first riders out of the start pen, 5 minutes before category 5, another 5 minutes to category 4, and then a further 5 minutes to category 3. And the riders here pushing on and moving through. Gina De Gracia, Natalia Idzik, Catherine Tompkinson, Doreen Chu, all part and parcel of that leading group in category 4. But these are the 3 riders currently at the head of the race. Bridget Bremner, Isabella Giraldo and Amy Suribayo, the riders from category 5. So Bremner leading the race at the moment, pushing on here at the head of the race. Giraldo is the rider closing her down, and then there's a huge pack behind. This is a massive pack of riders, and take a look at this. Category 3 leaders are not much further behind. We're in with Angelica Altamarino, Julia Montgomery, Embring, Walkenhurst, Briggs, all in here, all pushing on. Hamilton, Jessica Hamilton, is the rider sprinting in the light blue. She's category 5 as opposed to the dark blue, which is category 3, as they go under the Tel Marib sprint banner. Hamilton obviously still wanting to battle in that sprint competition, and indeed she does, because she switches quickly out of that light blue jersey and into the green skin suit. So we've got a real mix of riders on the road here. Johanna Warren in red is the category 4 rider in the mix, but these are the leaders in the category 3 race, and Anna Embring holding that polka dot skin suit in that competition. They're at the 30.4 kilometre mark, and that's the head of the category 3 race. On the right-hand side of your screen, the category 4 riders have caught the head of the race, which was indeed the category 5 leaders. So Gina De Gracia, Maria Wilhelm, Catherine Tompkinson, Doreen Chu, the riders from category 4 in the leading group with Natalia Idzik, go up and past the leaders in category 5. The job now for those category 5 riders is to see if they can hang on, to see if they can split their group by taking the draft from those category 4 riders, and it may work for a small while, but there's a real balance. They are shy of 32 kilometres in this race. It's a 45 kilometre race. There's still 13 kilometres to go. There's also a lot of climbing to go because they are about to go into the Tel Marib climb section on the course. So there's a real fine balance about getting caught, utilising the draft, but taking enough in reserve to ensure you can complete the race and not lose your position. So the head of the race at 32.1 kilometres, it includes the fact that the 4 and 5, 3 are about 900 metres behind. So the leaders in category 3, it's a big group on the bottom left-hand side of your screen. Take a look at the size of that group. And they are the leaders in the category 3 race. They're about 900 metres behind the head of the race. Category 2 on the top right-hand corner of your screen are at 25.9 kilometres into the race. Ulberg leading the charge there. And category 1 on the top left-hand corner of your screen at 23.4 kilometres, and Fuaguera, McCarthy, Menendez, Bruni, well, they are all in the mix. They're at 23.4. They're up and over the Aquarium climb. They're up and over the Leeward Desert climb, and they're on the transition between the Leeward Desert climb and the Tel Marib climb. Now, it's a long transition. 14 kilometres in total, and the category 1 group pacing themselves well. It's a big group at the moment. Holcroft at the front, 8 riders in the leading group in the category 1 race as they continue to roll through the course here in Arabia. Category 2 rider here just about to get caught is indeed Holly Bergin. So Holly Bergin in green in the category 2 race at the moment is about to see Fua, Guerra, Menendez, Holdcroft and McCarthy come past her. There indeed is Catherine Fura. We can see the look of concentration as she rolls in the group. A nice, comfortable, steady pace at the moment in this group as Catherine Fura just utilises the towel. It's hot work and to be part and parcel of the Sunday Race Club. And Bergin just sitting in the group for a small while. Columbia is there as well. Now, the gap back to Tomasi and Van Short now at 40 seconds. So they were indeed unable to close down that gap. The riders spread all over the course at the moment. The category 3 leaders, category 4 and category 5, I can tell you, have indeed gone through the Tel Marib climb, the first of the climbs in that section of the course, and category 6 already through there as well. So let's just take a little look, shall we, at the times set on that climb. So currently got in total across those categories 67 riders through the Tel Marib climb. The category 1 women are a long way off of there yet at 24.9 kilometres. It's at the 34 kilometre mark. They're 9k away. So only the fastest time up the Tel Marib sprint is through there. So the Tel Marib June climb on here at the moment. The Tel Marib climb, the first climb of the section. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens there. But at the moment, category 1 riders on the left-hand side of your screen. We're in with Catherine Fua, Holdcroft, Guerra, Bruni and Menendez. On the right-hand side of your screen, this is the chase group. We have Tomasi and Van Shore. Elise Gallegos coming onto the wheel as well. This is interesting. So we did have 2 riders in the chase group, Tomasi and Van Shore, and they'd been in the chase group for some time. Elise Gallegos and Stephanie Sidlick now joining the group. So is Amelia Velt. So what was a chase group of 2 is now become a chase group of 5. Back to the head of the race, and at 34.3 kilometres, this is the Tel Marib climb, and Kokkonen and De Grazia are at the head of this category 4 race. They are currently at the head of the race overall. Wilhelm just pushing on at the moment. You can see that chase group behind. She is leading that chase group with Holweiler, Tompkinson and Idzik. Doreen Chu is there as well. You can see the light blue jerseys of the category 5 race as well behind them. But the push is on. It's a big push at the moment, and we can see this group: De Grazia, Kekkonen, Holweiler, Wilhelm, Tompkinson. There indeed is Tanya Holweiler up and out of the screen, and you can see the effort going in here by the rider at the bottom of the screen. Holweiler currently in third place, and she's closing that gap down to the leading two of Gina De Grazia and Novelin Kekkonen. It was indeed Kekkonen who took the win last week. Holweiler was second, but this is so steep. Look at this, 13.2% at the moment on this Tel Marib climb. It is so steep. There's not a lot of the climb left, around 300 meters, but it's 300 meters they have still got to battle. So Gina De Grazia in 1, Novelin Kekkonen in 2, Tanya Holweiler in 3, Maria Wilhelm coming up onto Holweiler's wheel, doing a great job on the climb. Catherine Tompkinson as well, she's there too. Now these riders starting to close down. Holweiler, Natalia Idzik is here as well. It's looking like we've got 6 riders who may well come to the top of the climb together. The technical issue is that you come to the top of the first Tel Marib climb. You descend the other side. There's a short flat transition before we kick again. Then we go up onto the small bump. It's steep. It's around 800 meters. We drop the other side, and then you go straight into the Tel Marib dune climb. It's a really technical climbing section. A little bit further back down the road, the Category 3 race has moved up to 13th overall on the road. Ramert is there with Bonilla, Ultramarino, Embring and Vasquez. 5 riders now starting to push clear of the rest. It was a huge group in Category 3. At last count, I think we saw 18 riders, but now we're starting to see 5 riders push clear. Anna Embring in that polka dot skin suit. She's currently holding the climbing competition in Category 3, but Montgomery, Ramett, Bonilla, Embring, Ultramarino, all pushing on and all riding strongly here. Well, they're riding strongly on the front, but the chase is not over yet. The riders absolutely digging in deep behind. Jacqueline Kirchner, the Category 5 rider, they've just gone past. The 5 riders trying to break clear here in this Category 3 race are struggling because the others will not let them go. It's one long line of Category 3 riders, and there you go. There's Julia Montgomery. You can see her on your screen. You can see her in the pain cave. She's at the head of this Category 3 race, and she's trying to take it by the scruff of the neck and absolutely dominate on the climb. But I'm not sure it's going to be enough. They're coming to the top of the climb. They're going to hit the flat plateau at the top before they start the descent. But Montgomery, Embring, Ramett and Bonilla, Walkenhurst are all there at the top. Oh, they're there at the top. The question is, when they hit the descent and onto the other side, how big is that group going to be? Well, 500 meters up the road. It's Category 4 there at the front of the race. It's Wilhelm, De Grazia and Kekkonen, the 3 riders at the front. Idzik, Tompkinson, Holweiler, just 1 second back. Doreen Chu is there as well. This really is the leading group in Category 4. 6 riders leading that Category 4 race now. I think Chu's just in having a problem or two on the group, and yep, she's at 15 seconds now. So 6 riders in the leading group in Category 4. They've still got 9.2 kilometers to go. Well, 9.2 kilometers to go for Category 4. Category 3 are catching quickly. They are only 700 meters back on the road, and the group now on the descent, reforming as a group. We saw them stretch down the road. In fact, there's a big tail behind, and that tail will be wanting to catch before they go into the next climb. Category 1 and Category 2, they've got, well, a fair way further to go. Category 2 at 31.3 kilometers. They've still got to run into that first Tel Marib climb. Karamani, Paulson, Kuma, Tridin, Prado, all in that group. Jenny Eck is there as well as Kate Tridin. Look at the size of that Category 2 group. They are yet to come into that Tel Marib climb section. That's where we've seen the big group split in the other race categories. Category 1 are further back down the road, and quite substantial way further back down the road. I think the instrumental nature of the second half of the race is going to light up that Category 1 pack. At the moment, they are content to roll. Sophie Giovanni, we can see her in the pain cave. You can see her in the midst of the pack. Flat ground at the moment on the Sunday Race Club under the wheels of Giovanni, and green numbers indicating she is sat in the draft exactly where she needs to be. So Anshandi, Giovanni, Penna, Eck, Gonzalez, Rua, Prado, Field, Wagner, all the names we would expect to see in Category 2, right in the middle of this bunch. So Paulson is in here as well as Kalman. And we can see that the groups swell across the road. They're at 32.3 kilometres of Category 2 leaders as we see the attack now go through the group. Oh, interesting move. Look at that. It's Mika Soderstrom. She wants that sprint title again this week. This is the Telmarie sprint and Category 1 of the last race group through this effort. And Soderstrom really, really pushing. Holcroft going too. Take a look at Maria Holcroft. She's coming through the group from the back. It could well be that Holcroft's got her timing and technique right here, but who is going to take this? So Holdcroft and Soderstrom, Telmarie sprint. I tell you who's taken it is Bridget Falensky. So Soderstrom pushed on there. Holdcroft came through the group, but hidden in the bunch was Bridget Falensky. And Falensky takes the sprint today and the 5 points available on the Telmarie sprint. And that was class sprinting from Bridget Falensky. Top spot, 13.558 is her time. Maria Holdcroft, 0.079 of a second back. Wow. Pia Kuma setting the fastest time in Category 2. Catherine Montoya setting the fastest time in Category 3, giving her 5th overall. Fabulous sprinting from Catherine Montoya. Really, really good. Other names in the mix. We've got Soderstrom, Eck, Van Rossum, Bergin as well in Category 2, top 10. So some great times there from our racers. So Category 3 now moving to the 4 of the race. And take a look on the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. You can see the catch about to be made. The blue jerseys catching and coming onto the back of the leading Category 4 race. So the 6 riders leading the Category 4 race are about to be caught by the pack in the Category 3 race. Van der Vie, Montgomery, Embring, Bonilla, Ramet, all coming up onto the back of the leading group, all working strongly. They really are starting to push on this climb. And this climb, it's not a categorized climb, but it really is steep. 7% at the moment under the wheels. They're about to come to the top. And it's the transition between the Telmarie climb and the Telmarie Dune climb that is doing the damage here, and is where the catch is being made by Category 3 here. Montgomery, Van der Ville, Embring, Ramet, all leading the charge here. There are just 3 riders ahead. That is 1, 2, 3 in the Category 4 race. And the gap back to Holweiler, who's currently in 4th place in that race, well, there is a gap. So it's looking like Idzik and Wilhelm, the 2 riders at the front of the Category 4 race, just clear at the moment. But take a look at that. You need some Jaws music. Da-da, da-da, da-da. They're coming, and Julia Montgomery is leading the charge, 6 seconds back. Holweiler, who's been dropped from the leading group. Now, really, what she needs to do is she needs to get into that Category 3 pack on this descent, and she needs to sit in there comfortably and let them do the work while she takes recovery. It'll give her a tow back to the group. Noveline Kekkonen is about to be swept up by that group as well on the descent, and she needs to do the same thing. And, well, there's a big question as to whether Kekkonen and Holweiler can come back to Idzik and Wilhelm in that Category 4 race. They've got what's looking like 6 kilometres to go. That battle for Category 3, the battle for Category 4, it is completely on now as they go into that Tel Marib Dune climb. They're going to be the first riders and racers over the top. Is it going to be Category 3? Is it going to be Category 4? It's going to be Category 3 because look at that. 6 Category 3 riders. They are pushing, and it's Ramat, the rider, who is trying to go clear. They're not going to let her. They're going to very, very quickly close it down. And Julia Montgomery is on a ride today. Montgomery, who took the sprint competition overall last week. This course, she is showing how sprinters and climbers combine when it's short, sharp climbing, because we know she's got a great sprint on her, but she's using that power on these short, sharp climbs to really show how that is that fine balance between sprinting and climbing on this type of terrain. Ramat, Montgomery, Embring, Van der Ville and Walkenhurst. Benilla is there as well. They've gone past the Category 4 leaders. Idzik is currently leading the charge there. She's in the green skin suit. Wilhelm is the rider behind it in the red jersey. Always a challenge to spot the head of the race when they're in a polka dot skin suit or a green skin suit, but I can confirm Idzik is in green and leading the Category 4 race. Ramat doing a sterling job here on the climb. 13.4% at the moment. This is steep. This is racing, and this is the Sunday Race Club. Phenomenal moves at the moment going on here as Leah Sophie Ramat really leads the charge in Category 3. New rider to the Sunday Race Club and really laying down the gauntlet at the moment. You can see her on the top of the screen. We've got the pain caves here. So Ramat, Embring and Montgomery, and take a look at the difference in styles. Montgomery head down, pushing, sat down in the saddle. Embring up and out of the saddle. Ramat's up and out of the saddle as well, and these three riders really battling it here. Walkenhurst just starting to get dropped. Benilla has just been dropped. Lytton is further back down the road. They still have some way to go on the climb, and it really is still a bit of a push here. They've got around 500 metres, 400 metres to go. They got to go around the bend, and when they get around the bend, they will see that polka dot banner, but it will not come quickly enough. As the wild horses run alongside the hill, Van der Ville, Embring and Ramat, Montgomery and Walkenhurst are fighting the top 5 riders in this Category 3 race. They're fighting for the top of the Tel Marib Dune climb. When they get to the top, they have a 5.3 kilometre run to the checkered flag today at that 45 kilometre mark. And well, Camilla Allberg in Category 2 is doing the business at 35.2 kilometres. She's on the descent of the Tel Marib climb, the first climb of this sandy climbing section. She's dropped the group behind. So Allberg in Category 2. Absolutely nailing this at the moment. She's just come up onto the back of Angie Solorzano, the Category 5 rider who started earlier. She's on the descent, and she's 14-second gap at the moment in that Category 2 race. So Category 2 on the right-hand side of your screen, Category 1 on the left-hand side of your screen. Category 1 just coming into the base of the Tel Marib climb. It's an 800-metre climb, around 10% average, but you can see how steep it is, 12.2 at the moment under the wheels of the Category 1 riders. And it's a big, big group of Category 1 riders because they all came back together again. No, I'm sure there's a Take That song in there somewhere. Oh, no, that's the men's team. So, Van Shaw, Soderstrom, Bruni, Biarhead, Falensky, Tomasi, Gallegos, they are in trouble because Holdcroft and Menezes, Fua are at the front. Oh, look at the push. Jessina Menezes is 3 seconds further up the road than Catherine Fua, but it's Guerra and McCarthy. Well, who would have thought it could be anybody else? Gabby Guerra, Kate McCarthy, the two riders who have battled Royale over the last few weeks. Jacinia Menezes and Maria Holdcroft doing a great job at trying to hold them. The polka dot, well, there's no polka dot banner at the top of the climb. It's not a segment. But if there was, it would be McCarthy and Guerra going underneath it first. Menezes and Holdcroft with Fua. Fua is coming, actually. Fua's coming strongly on the climb now. She's just coming onto the back of Holdcroft and Menezes. So two riders 7 seconds up the road, 3 riders coming in now. They're coming to the top of this climb. It's a flat plateau at the top before they start the descent. There's a flat section at the bottom, but it's not long before they go into the short, sharp kicker that is the precursor to the Tel Marib June climb. This is the main climbing section on this race course. It doesn't come till the 34-kilometre marker. It is definitely got a sting in the tail. Tel Marib, it's a cracker. What a course. This is the first time the women have ever raced the 45-kilometre Tel Marib climb course in Arabia. The men's first time out on this course was Qualifier 3 in June in 2024. They've had a few more races on it. They know what is coming. The women here, what a race it is providing today. Guerra has dropped McCarthy. Gabby Guerra at the front of the race. These climbs. Now, it's really, really interesting. McCarthy, we know, is a consummate climber, but she really likes the long climbs. The long climbs around 5 or 6%, where she can really pull and extend her lead. These short, sharp climbs, often, we talked a little bit with category 2, favour a sprinter. So we get that real fine balance between sprinting and climbing. And let me tell you, Guerra has put a gap into McCarthy at the front of this category 1 race. Jacinia Menendez, she's in a yellow room. She's got a yellow jersey on and she's doing a phenomenal job here. Fua Holdcroft and Jacinia Menendez, they are the 3 riders locked. The second group on the road, or the chase group on the road, the riders they are chasing, Gabby Guerra and Kate McCarthy. And take a look at that. McCarthy has only just come round the corner behind, and Guerra continues to push. She's pushing on the descent here as well. She's got 6 seconds, Guerra has, on McCarthy at the moment. This is a key race. Guerra took the win last week from Fua on the line. These types of climbs, well, look at this. They are the type of climb that suits Gabby Guerra. So you can see Guerra in the pain cave. She's up and out the saddle. She's continuing to push. She's moving into the flat section now. She wants to hold this momentum. She's at 60 kilometres an hour. And what she wants to do is try and carry some of that pace on this flatland. Now Guerra pushes on. She continues to move. She's got Osterby, the Danish rider from category 2 ahead of her. So she's got a target. She's got a target to try and reel in. And it's amazing how much that helps in terms of motivation. Being able to see a rider, even if they're not in your own category, but the concept of being able to reel someone in and then get closer to you really does help in terms of motivation. Now, Guerra on the left-hand side of your screen, the next rider she's got in her sights is Sarah Jane Voss. That's the rider from category 6 that she will be seeing and using to reel in. On the right hand side of your screen is Kate McCarthy. She is 8 seconds down on Guerra. They are about to come into the next climb, which is the transition climb before the main Tel Marib June climb, which is the categorized climb in the race. And I can tell you, over that categorized climb are 27 riders already. Make it 28, because Bridget Bremner in category 5 has just gone over the top as well. Now, currently, from the Tel Marib climb, Van der Vie is setting the fastest time in category 3. Kate McCarthy pushes on. She's got company in the pain cave. You can see, well, not just a pain cave. Look at that look of concentration and pain and effort on her face. She goes into the midpoint climb in the Tel Marib June section. She's still 8 seconds. She's holding the gap on Guerra. Guerra pushing on. Guerra's putting out just shy of 8 watts per kilo, 7.5. She's continuing to push. She's got riders to continue to work past. In fact, McCarthy's got Hadlock in her sights now. So Guerra on the left-hand side of your screen, pushing strongly on the climb and tapping a really strong rhythm. McCarthy desperately trying to go with her. The gap back now behind McCarthy is 18 seconds back to Maria Holdcroft. And Holdcroft, part and parcel of that chasing trio that we saw last time that included Holdcroft, Menendez and Fua. What a race this Category 1 women's race is turning out to be. Well, what a race every single category is turning out to be. And what a course Tel Marib is here. 45 kilometres of racing for the women today, 532 metres of climb. And Guerra at the moment is leading the Category 1 race. She's extending her lead on these short, sharp climbs from Kate McCarthy is now 15 seconds, and she's now starting to work her way through the Category 2 race field. She's been past Emily Nyquist. She's pushing on here. She's going through a big group, actually, of Category 5 racers. So the race feels now all starting to move towards the end of the race. And it's going to be interesting to see. At 43.9 kilometres on the right-hand side of your screen, this is the Category 3 race. They are coming towards the end of this race. They've got 1 kilometre to go and 2 riders in contention. So Anna Embring, Femke van der VA in the polka dot skin suit because she, Anna Embring in the polka dot skin suit because she has the most points in the climbing competition in Category 3. So Embring in polka dots, van der VA in blue. These 2 riders are going to come in towards the finish line. There's a descent and then a flat run before they get there. It's just around the bend at the top. Walkenhurst is at 11 seconds. So is Montgomery and Rammere. The 3 riders who are chasing are not going to close down the leading 2. So Van der VA kicks, so does Embring. But is this the sprint? Have they unleashed it? Are they waiting? Because there's still 350 metres to go. It's a long run to the finish line. Van der VA sits up. Anna Embring is in front. She's going to lead this out. What's going to happen? Is Van der VA going to kick? No, not at the moment. Anna Embring goes. Does Van der VA? Yes, she does. She tries to respond. She's in the draft, but she's not got the kick of Embring. Anna Embring is going to win today. Category 3, first place, Anna Embring. So Anna Embring takes the win. The polka dot skin suit and the yellow skin suit for Embring today in Category 3. The chase is on behind and Walkenhurst is kicking. This is for 3rd place in Category 3. Walkenhurst, what a ride, what a race. She takes 3rd place from Rammere. And then Julia Montgomery in 5. Bonilla and Britton are the next 2 to run into the line. It looks like they are going to be content with riding through the line as they are. So Kim Bonilla is going to take 6th place today. Brittany Litton is going to take 7th. And then the race is on behind. A little bit further back down the road, though, Natalia Idzik is now in the lead and clear of Maria Wilhelm in Category 4. She's got 500 metres to go till the finish line, the descent and then the flat. And look, there you go, in the distance. That is Wilhelm at 6 seconds. It's going to need to be a massive charge from Maria Wilhelm to catch Natalia Idzik. Idzik in the green skin suit. She's leading the Category 4 race. The question is, can Wilhelm do anything about it? I think the answer is no. Natalia Idzik knows she's clear. She knows she can come to the finish line in the 1st place in the Category 4 race. She takes the green skin suit from the sprint competition. She takes the overall win as well in Category 4. Congratulations, Natalia Idzik. Look at the effort that took. Oh, give that lady a round of applause. Phenomenal work from Idzik today. Wilhelm ran her close for 2nd place. Tanja Holweiler now coming over the line in 3rd. Category 3 and Category 4 riders over the line now. Fabulous racing in those 2 categories. We have 4 more race categories out on the race. There are still, look at that, Category 2, still 4K to go. Category 1, well, it's 4.5, and Gabby Guerra is still on the front. So the 4 races still underway here on our screens. On the top left-hand corner of your screen, well, that was Gabby Guerra, Category 1 leader. Bridget Bremner on your main screen at the moment now, Category 5. She's in the polka dot skin suit. She's got 300 metres to go until the finish line. Bremner is going to take the win today in Category 5. Isabella Giraldo is at 30 seconds. So Bridget Bremner doing a sterling job today in Category 5. She's taken that climber's skin suit. She's the top of the climber and she's the top of the step of the race. Category 5 winner Bridget Bremner comes over the line. So Bremner comes over the line in that Category 5 race. Isabella Giraldo is now going to come through for second place today. She's 30 seconds back on Bremner, but she's 20 seconds clear of Jacqueline Kirchner in third. Isabella Giraldo doing a fabulous job here today as well. The Category 5 women's race, really strong. So Giraldo coming through in 2. Kirchner is going to take third place today in that competition. In the Category 1 race, Guerra at the moment, well, she's been caught by McCarthy. All change. So at 42 kilometres into the race, they're over the Tel Marib climb, the Tel Marib Dune climb that is, and McCarthy setting the fastest time up there, closing the gap down on Guerra. In fact, Jacinia Menendez setting the second fastest time in Category 1, Guerra the third, Holdcroft and then Fua, the top 5 fastest times in Category 1. But it does mean that McCarthy has closed down Guerra. The 2 riders now sat back, and take a look at that. A little bit of cat and mouse going on between Guerra and McCarthy. They're at 42.4 kilometres into the race, an hour and 9 minutes of racing complete. Currently rolling sub 2 watts per kilo. The leader in the Category 2 race, though, coming up to the final 1,000 metres, Camilla Olberg, well, she went clear on that Tel Marib climb, the first climb in the section, and she distanced a huge group of riders. There were 18 riders in that leading group in Category 2, and Olberg has gone clear. Dana Wagner, Tiffany Penner, they are leading the chase group behind, and it's on the right-hand side of your screen. There's 4 of them, and they are continuing to push, and Tiffany Penner working hard and working strongly. She wants to try and close the gap down, she definitely wants second place, but she can't. I don't think she can close that gap down to Olberg. The gap is 27 seconds. And Olberg, well, she's only got around 550 metres to go, but Penner's adamant she wants second place today. But Wagner, Kolkowitz and Kalman will have something to say about that. Camilla Olberg's going to come round the bend and see the UCI banner. The finish line for the Sunday Race Club today. Olberg went clear in the Category 2 race. When she hit Tel Marib, she stayed clear of the chase group behind, and Camilla Olberg from Sweden is going to take the win today in Category 2 on the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. So as Olberg comes underneath the line today, Penner, Kolkowitz, Wagner are fighting it out for second, third, fourth and fifth. Penner opens up, so does Dana Wagner. They've both kicked, but Wagner's got a massive push on her today. Can anybody else challenge it? Kalman's coming, so's Kolkowitz, but Wagner is going to do this, I think. I don't think Penner's going to make it. Tiffany Penner does one more push. She's coming up on the right-hand side. Can Wagner hold it? Can Penner come over the top? Who's going to take it? It's going to be Penner. Penner takes second spot today in Category 2 from Dana Wagner. Karolina Kolkowitz takes fourth. Joanna Kalman takes fifth. Great racing in Category 2. McCarthy, Guerra, they are locked together. And I'll tell you something, Jacinia Menendez has closed the gap down behind. At 43.7 kilometres, McCarthy is sprinting for the top of this rise. She wants to try and break Guerra, but she also wants to go clear of Menendez because Jacinia Menendez is one-class rider. So Kate McCarthy puts in a big dig, responded to it by Guerra. Guerra pushing on. She comes to close. Oh, she digs again because she's not closed the gap. She's not got into the draft. Her numbers are still white. She needs those numbers to be green, and she's got to keep digging. She's got to keep digging till those numbers turn green as she gets into the draft, because otherwise McCarthy is away. Can Guerra do it? You can see the look on her face. She's trying to manage the effort. They're now on the downhill section. This is the run in. This is the start of the descent and then the flat run to the finish line. She's got to time this well now if she wants to try and close down McCarthy. McCarthy's continuing to time trial down the climb. Down the descent on the other side, the time trial pace is continuing. Jacinia Menendez is now not going to close down these two. So this is McCarthy versus Guerra. Guerra versus McCarthy. McCarthy's got a 3-second gap. What can Guerra do? Can she launch a sprint? Can she launch a sprint and come onto the back wheel, run into the back wheel of McCarthy? Can McCarthy battle this out and take this from the front? What is going to happen? Guerra is coming. I think the gap is too big. I think that's too close to the banner. Kate McCarthy's going to take the win today against Gabby Guerra on the Tel Marib course here in Arabia. That was one huge effort from McCarthy. It was one massive effort from Gabby Guerra as well. And these two continue to battle on the Sunday Race Club. Jacinia Menendez putting in a superb back end to this race to take third spot today. Catherine Fua is going to come through for fourth. And Maria Holdcroft. What a ride from Maria Holdcroft. Brilliant racing today. She's going to take fifth place on the Sunday Race Cup. Bruni and Tomasi, Columbi, the three riders who are going to come in now and battle this for the lower places. Who's going to take it, actually? Because Bruni, Tomasi and Columbi right on the back now. Oh, she's just rolled onto the back, which does not want to come out of the draft. She's really managing that effort. Elise Gallegos is not far behind either. She's got company because Amelia Velt is there, but the sprint is unleashed by Francesca Tomasi. Tomasi's gone from the front. Can Bruni roll onto the back of the wheel and come over the top? What about Columbi? I think Mel Bruni's going to come over the top of Tomasi. Tomasi let it out. The draft has worked. Oh, Bruni and Columbi come over the top of Tomasi. That's what it means by sprinting through the draft. What a race. Well, I say what a race. We've still got category 6 to go. Rona Tanglian, Adriana Flores, and Veronica Arrayas, the three riders tied together. These riders, those category 6 riders, have been out for a long time, an hour and 54 minutes to be precise. All credit to those category 6 riders. The overall standings at the moment, so Kate McCarthy takes the win in 1 hour, 13 minutes and 23 seconds. 4 seconds clear of Gabby Guerra in 2 from the Thundercats. Thundercats teammate Jacinia Menendez takes 3rd spot. Catherine Fua takes 4th. Maria Holdcroft takes 5th, all within 30 seconds of each other. Mel Bruni, category 1, takes 6th. Celine Columbi, 7th. Tomasi, 8th. Alberg takes the win in category 2 from Tiffany Penner and Dana Wagner. In category 3 is Anna Embring from Femke van der Ville. In category 4, I can tell you it was Natalia Idzik from Maria Wilhelm. In category 5, it was Isabella Giraldo from Jacqueline Kirchner. No, it wasn't. It was Bridget Bremner from Isabella Giraldo. There you go. Let's go back to that bingo. There's number 3. And in category 6, well, we don't know who's come through in category 6 just yet. But at the moment, it looks to me like Rona Tanglian is at the front of the race. She's got 1.7 kilometres to go. Flores, Arrayas and are the 2 riders behind as Tanglian continues to push. She's 16 seconds clear. She's on this last small climb. When she gets to the top of this rise, it is the descent that gives you the run into the finish. So Rona Tanglian climbing strongly here and really pushing on in this category 6 race. 1 hour, 47 minutes so far of racing. This is a phenomenal effort from Tanguyen to break Flores and Reyes at this point in time. Aline Francisco de Silva, the Category 2 rider, just going ahead of her. But the real battle has been ongoing in Category 6 from these three riders, and they have been absolutely dialing it throughout this race here in Tel Marib in Arabia. Tanguyen at the 4 of the race, the gap now at 20 seconds as she continues on this final climb of the day. She's on the right-hand side of your screen. On the left-hand side of your screen are Reyes and Flores, the riders in second and third place in this Category 6 race. So the top three due to come in very shortly in the Category 6 race. Rona Tanguyen leading that race in on the right-hand side of your screen. Second and third, Reyes and Flores on the left-hand side of your screen. You can see on the top corner, the top right-hand side of their screens, the gradient shortly about to drop into the descent. This is the final part of the climb, and Tanguyen pushing on here. She's extending her lead. She's now 20 seconds clear of Reyes, but it's looking like Reyes is starting to drop Flores. So Veronica Reyes now starting to push and starting to try and cement that second place in this Category 6 race, but Rona Tanguyen has done the work already. She's going to transition onto the downhill section, and her speed is going to pick up quickly. She's got one long section left before she takes a sweeping left-hand bend to see the finish line today. And I tell you something, she's going to need to watch it because Reyes is coming fast behind. Those seconds now ticking down back to Veronica Reyes. We're in with Rona Tanguyen. There you go. She's on her screen. She's got support in the room. The cadence. Oh, she's up and out the saddle. She's trying to dig. She's trying to give this everything because this would be the win in the Category 6 race for Rona Tanguyen today. What an effort. She's going to be rewarded very, very shortly by seeing that UCI banner, which is the finish line today. It has been a battle royale in Category 6, but Rona Tanguyen is going to come through and take the win today. There's going to be one big smile on her face when she goes around the corner and sees the finish line at 45 kilometers here in Arabia. Well, it's coming. It can't come quick enough for Tanguyen. There it is. That's the finish line. She's 20 seconds clear of Veronica Reyes, 30 seconds clear of Adriana Flores, the top three riders in Category 6 today. But taking the win, Rona Tanguyen, Category 6 on the Sunday Race Club. Reyes and Flores left to battle it out for second and third place. But that is all of our six categories over the line in the women's race today for Qualifier 2 in January. It's been an absolute cracker. Join me, Emma Martin, for the men's race shortly. We will see you soon.
welcome to the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. We're here in Arabia. Category 6 are away, the first of our race categories to leave the start pens, watched by the other 5 categories as they make the way away from the pens and onto the course proper. Away go Category 5, they make the way off from the race start. At the moment, looking like it's being led out at a fair old pace of Truba, Newman, Rustinek. They're diving into the red. It's our qualifier race 1. It's January 2025. The bigger, the brighter, the bolder. More bang, more bucks. It is the Sunday Race Club. They are making the way. They are the last starters, the leaders in Category 1 at 1.7k. Already 20 kilometres plus into the race route. Go Category 6. No longer is this one group of riders across the road akin to a Grand Tour bunch. This is when the pressure is on. The gaps are opening, and there is a big split in the middle of this.
And
group.
I tell you
Danger
something,
time is here.
It's the Polish riders who have been pushing.
We're just starting to see a wind up here from Kirsnowski at 6 watts per kilo. We're just starting to see what was a ball of riders.
Yeah.
A mass of riders start to thin down. As it goes from being a ball down into a longer line, that's when the pressure comes on. You've got to kick over the top. That is the key part here. He wants this to be hard from the base of the climb to the summit of the climb, and he's doing that in style, setting out what he wants to happen here, and the pace he's putting in early is distancing riders at the back. They're having to respond here.
The focus on the sprints from Christoph Labno, really putting him in the mix. And at the front of that Category 6 race, Jonathan Cridland, I'll tell you something, is doing a sterling job in the sprints on Category 5. They've continued to push, and that's the interesting thing, because the gap now back at 12 seconds. Jones, Tugels, Vu, Yassin. It was a group of 8 riders, let's remember, at the head of the Category 1 race. 2 riders riding clear, Michael Vink and Sai Safrazadi in with Christoph Labno on our screen. He's on the avatar, he sees the UCI banner, he goes under the banner to take the win in Category 6 today. The first time Category 6 has raced on the Sunday Race Club, and he takes the win.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. مشاهدينا الكرام متابعينا في كل مكان، أهلا وسهلا بكم. الإيطالي إنريكو كوادريلي، طبعا كوادريلي اسم معروف لدينا، هذا إنريكو رابع واحد في الصورة الآن. إنريكو كوادريلي الإيطالي، 6 فئات، يا له من تطور. اليوم رقم قياسي في المشاركة بالمناسبة، 2025 سجل أكثر من 200 متسابق.
شكرا كابتن عبد الله ويعطيك العافيه اليوم على التعليق، وما شاء الله اليوم الاعداد كبيره في هذا السباق التاهيلي الاول بالنسبه لفئه الرجال، كما كان الحال بفئه السيدات. لاول مره نشاهد هذه الاعداد الكبيره بهذا الكم.
يلا يا مستر اكساندريت، الان بدايه الصعوبه واتاك من مستر اكساندريت. نعم، اتاك هو يعرف هذه المنطقه جيدا، يعرف هذه المنطقه، وبدايه موفقه من فريق اليو كلانتين. الله 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 الله، برافو 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 يا اس اس. نعم، الآن كملها 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 يا اس اس، يا سلام. نعم، يلتحق الآن بالبولندي، المحاولة مستمرة.
أولي جونز ينطلق الآن، يتقدم في هذه اللحظات جيسون أوزبورن. نعم، يتقدم جيسون أوزبورن، خلفه سامويل وسعيد سفرزادة. سعيد سفر يتأخر الآن، ويبقى في المقدمة الآن بطل العالم جيسون أوزبورن ينافس مع ليونيل فيجسون.
مستر اكساندريت من دولة الإمارات، سرعته الآن في عملية تسارع يصل إلى 46 كيلومتر في الساعة. يظهر الآن على الشاشة 327 واط، قراءات مميزة، أكمل 52 دقيقة إلى 53 دقيقة الآن. أول سباق لهذه الفئة، البولندي كريستوف الآن إلى خط النهاية، الأمتار الأخيرة، يصل إلى خط النهاية. أول الفائزين للفئة السادسة المستحدثة 2025.
Hello and welcome to the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. It's qualifier race number 2 for January of 2025 with me, Emma Martin, and we are back in Arabia, Tel Marib for the men's race today. And no spoilers at all, but I can tell you, if the women's race is anything to go by, this is going to be brilliant. Right, so 45 kilometres of racing in Arabia, 532 metres of climbing. Come out of the start pens, through the Aldar HQ sprint, into the Aquarium climb at 12.2 kilometres. Down the other side, up the Liwa Desert climb, always short, sharp and painful. Then the long transition to the Tel Marib sprint. And then we head into the Tel Marib climbing section in the desert. 1, 2, 3 main climbs, just one of them categorised in the climbing competition today. Then they drop down the other side through those rolling climbs before the descent into the finish line. Will be very welcomed, that checkered flag, for some of our riders today, and it's going to be a really interesting race across our 6 race categories today. Now, 6 race categories in the men's race, 6 race categories in the women's race, and this is what it means for the prize money. So, category 6 prize money. You can see the individual classification AED 622 for the win, down to 39 AED for 10th place. Yes, all top 10 riders receiving prize money in the individual classification. At the end of the month, it's going to be 7 teams, not 5, so a change there as well. And you can see the top team will take 2,722 AED in prize money in category 6. And segment prizes too now. All change for 2025. In category 6, the segments are 50 AED each. The overall sprint winner at the end of the race takes 50 AED, and the overall king or queen of the mountain takes 50 AED as well in category 6. And yes, the prize money is the same in the men's and the women's race. Category 5, we move up in that prize money. Individual classification, top spot 1,037 AED, down to 65 AED for 10th place. The team competition at the end of the month, you can see the teams 4,536 AED, down to 648 for the 7th placed team. Segment prizes also drip up on category 5 to 75 AED for the segments. Category 4, you can see first place 1,728 AED, down to 108 in 10th place. The team classification, the top team at the end of the month will take 7,560 AED, and those segment prizes bump up to 100 AED. The sprint and King of the Mountains at 200 AED for those overall sprint and climbers. Category 3, we go up again. 2,880 for the win in the individual classification. 12,600 for the team competition win, and then 150 per segment, and 300 for the sprint and King of the Mountains overall at the end of the race today. Category 2, as you would expect, is higher than category 3. And the top 10 in category 2, 4,800 AED for the win in category 2. I can tell you that's €1,253 as of Emma's exchange. And down to 300 AED in 10th place. That's €78. 21,000 AED. For the team win, 200 per segment and 400 for the sprint and the King of the Mountains. And then in category 1, 8,000 AED for the win, down to 500 AED for 10th place. The team competition, 35,000 AED for the first team, 5,000 for the 7th, and you can see it run down. 250 AED per sprint or climb segment in the races, and then 500 AED for the sprint or King of the Mountains winner. Now, Before we quickly go into category 6, let me just tell you, €2,089 for that category 1 win. There is prize money right the way across the board. You need to be in it to win it. You know how to do it. You've got to go over to MyWhoosh.com, click on events and the Sunday Race Club. Now, the level 6, well, the level beginning category team, category 6. Okay, Marcus Brito representing the level beginning squad today in category 6. 23 riders on the start sheets today. You can see they're already out of the start pen, coming up for 2 kilometres into the race. And the category really, really strong. A number of riders went up. We saw some, as I said, in the women's race, some... I was going to say a little bit of jiggling between the categories, but we have indeed, because some of the riders have gone up and moved around a little bit. Now, Johnson Kutab took 3rd place in this category. He's on the start sheets today. He took 3rd place last week. Botero took 4th. Yates took 5th. Enrico Quadrelli goes up into category 5, which is brilliant to see. In the climbing competition, Riley Millistick took the climbing competition in category 6 last week, and Antti Järvinen took the sprint competition. So great to see a real mix in terms of who took which competition. The assumption being that the rider who wins the race isn't always the one who takes the sprint or takes the climbing competition. There's a little bit of something for everybody. And Seb's putting in a huge... Oh, look at that. You can see into the pain cave at the moment. Putting in a big dig on the sprint. Heron going with it as well. Now, this is going to be interesting in the Aldar HQ sprint. Who is going to have taken this? And I can tell you, it is Roshandraj Teron who takes the overall sprint there on the Aldar HQ sprint. Resplendent in that green skin suit in the category 6 competition. So fabulous job, Teron, from Sebza, from Sjoberg, from Illit. Great to see the riders racing strongly. On category 6, out of the pen. Bit of a stretch on the group, and the sprint really causing that. So at 3.1 kilometres, you can see on the bottom left-hand corner of your screen the stretch on that group. But I think they are going to reconvene. Perhaps with 1 or 2 riders dropped off the back, but Kearney is there, Kutab is there, Lenador is there, Monslav, Nilsson, all at the fore of that category 6 pack. Now, category 5 competition, 47 riders on the start sheets in category 5. A number of teams, BMC 5, the level captains, level racing, upcycled, Winschatten Ventures and ZTBR. Now, Dadson from BMC 5 took 2nd place last week, and Francis from Level Racing took 5th. So those 2 squads really looking for a strong start to the Sunday Race Club today. Jonathan Cridland took the win in category 5. Motmans and Smithson also in the top 5 overall, but Osmar Vaz is the rider we are in with at the moment. They're 500 metres out of the start pen. One rider just distanced on that start, but 47 riders clear out of the pack. Montoya is there, Maillard is there, Hofbeck is there, Ian Lloyd is in the mix, John Wakefield is in the mix, Michael Kelps, Demanuan, Conge, Bertrand, Driscoll, Stephen Newman is here as well. Great to see the mix of nationalities. Colombia, Brazil, Italy, the United Kingdom, Finland, Denmark, Australia, Poland, Turkey, Slovenia, the UAE, the Czech Republic, the riders from around the world. Canadian riders dropping in as well. Really great to see those. A lot of the Canadian riders coming via the Echelon Racing League, which has been absolutely brilliant racing on Saturdays. But a number of those Canadian riders racing the Echelon Racing League and also qualifying for the National Championships, those Canadian National Championships on MyWhoosh on the 8th and 9th of February. So those riders really now and progressing on the Echelon Racing League into those national champs and starting to join us on the Sunday Race Club, which is fabulous to see. And all credit to them because Jacques Russenek, the Canadian rider, has been pretty much at the moment ever present on the Sunday Race Club. It's always fabulous to see Russenek here. But the time of day those riders race, our riders around the world. Here in the UK, she says, looking at her watch, it's just after 9:30 in the morning in the UK. It is a different time around the world. Adriano Zanasca in Italy, it's going to be 10:30 in the morning for him. If you are in the USA, it could well be 4 a.m. where you are, and it could well be 6 p.m. if you are in Australia or New Zealand, or even later. So wherever you are in the world, it's a different time zone, but we're all on the Sunday Race Club together. And this pack of Category 5 riders, you can see one rider just distance off the back of the group, but Zanasca, Montoya, Back, Lloyd, Callangad, McMurtry, Warren, Kennett, all in the mix. So a bit of a push coming on the front here at the 2 kilometre marker. So Scott Francis not happy with the fact that the pack is all together, and I'm not surprised, 47 riders in that pack. So a big group. Oh, look at that. Francis goes out the front and then says, oh, I'm tired. Well, I tell you something, Scott Francis, you're only 2.2 kilometres into a 45 kilometre race. If you're tired, go back into the pack, take the draft and save some energy. I think it's a bluff. Scott Francis, is he bluffing the group? Osmar Vaz comes onto his wheel. Jani Lempinen comes up, the Finnish rider as well, goes over the top. Oh, Francis, is he waving him away? No, he's waving him away into the sprint. That's what he's doing. So the sprint underway, the Aldar HQ sprint underway for the Category 5 riders. And take a look at the push. Driscoll dialing it at the moment, but so is John Back. They're absolutely nailing that sprint, the Category 5 riders. Oh, I can tell you, Jonathan Cridland comes out on top. Well, he comes out on top in Category 5. We drop into Category 4. They are in the start pen. And I'll tell you something, there are 65 riders on the start sheets in Category 4. Be Strong, BMC Racing, Inner Flight, Level Racing, Level Up, the Mighty Ducks and Salt Factory Team are the squads on the line. Matteo Pino took 5th place for the Mighty Ducks last week. Alex West took 3rd place for Level Up. Carlos Arieva took the win last week. Daniel Cadiz took 4th place, but there are so many strong riders here. Siski took 2nd, but Trujillo is here, Montoya is here, Alalusa is here, Peter Connell is here, Cadabona is here, Bogran is here, Neville Ross, Polgarin, Bristolin, Nogueira, Mountier is here. It's a huge race field in Category 4 as they sweep out of the start pen today. We're in with the pack, and the pack is rolling. Well, I tell you, as I finish my coffee in the studio, as the Category 4 men come out the start line, I hope they've had their coffee this morning, because the pack are rolling strongly. Look at the size of the group. 1 or 2 riders just in trouble at the moment coming out the start pen. The start, absolutely crucial. You're not going to win the race at the start, but you could well lose the race at the start. And that is due to the fact that what you need to do, A, you need to have a warm-up, and B, you need to time the lifting of your power so that you are on the ascension. Your power is going up so that you have the momentum behind you coming out of the pen to ensure that you go with the group. Now, Boo Aimer at the front of the pack. Skierski is in there as well. So is Horsley and Montoya. Streppel is there as well. Robinson, James Robinson is a strong rider, you know, as well. One to watch. Tom Walker, David Young, these riders all really good. Trujillo and Calderon I've seen in there as well. The pack really wide across the road, indicating that the riders are all rolling at a very, very similar pace. And if you want to know what I'm fueled by this morning, coffee and leftover Christmas chocolates. That's what's in front of me in the studio today. I can guarantee you our riders will not be fueled by coffee and leftover Christmas chocolates. Well, if you are, let me know, because I'd be really interested to know what Christmas chocolates you have left over on the 12th of January. I have some kind of mint thing left over, but actually, do you know what? They work really well. I have raced on them as well. interesting move. I wouldn't recommend it. Felipe Marin, David Thompson, all in the mix here. Francis Pino. Now, Pino is a really strong rider, and what you have to remember is there are two Pinos, Matteo Pino and Francis Pino, in Category 4 on the Sunday Race Club. Never confuse the two. They are both very strong riders. Matteo Pino races for the Mighty Ducks. Francis Pino races for Salt Factory Team UAE. Both really, really strong and both capable of top 5 positions. Andrew Neville-Ross at the front of the pack, just on the wheel of Kevin Horsley. These two riders also really strong, and you can see Neville-Ross just up and out the saddle in his pain cave as he goes on to Horsley's wheel. They're going to come around the bend and go through the roundabout. This is a push before the sprint. This is not a push to the sprint or through the sprint. This is a push before the sprint. The sprint doesn't come till after the roundabout. And Horsley and Neville-Ross, well, it's a big group. They may want to stretch it out a little. So JJ Miller from the States in here as well. He's paying close contention at the front of that pack. They're going to want to bring Horsley back. Horsley's a strong rider. Interesting move, forcing them to chase, seeing who is wanting to do the work today. Sometimes these moves are not moves around winning a race or winning a sprint. These moves are seeing who is feeling like they are up for the chase and up for the race today. Because a lot of riders will sit and go, no, you first, after you. No, you close it down. Other riders will be the riders on it. And Daniel Valencia at the moment, one of the riders, putting in a big dig in the Category 4 through the sprint. The question is, did he take the most momentum through that group? And I can tell you the answer is no, because Edison Gomez takes the sprint in Category 4. Category 3 down in the start pen. They are waiting to go. 56 riders on the start sheets in Category 3. The Anzacs, the Otero Alliance, Level Racing Manager, the Ride Club Finland, Sandstorm, What's Up, and ZTBR are indeed the teams on the list today. Mark Gates from Sandstorm took second place last week. Diduch took the sprints in Category 3. Elos took the climb. It's a good race field. David Goodall took the win. He's gone up to Category 2. That's going to be interesting to see how he goes there. But at the moment, we're in with Patrick Bloom in Category 3. They're the riders in the dark blue jerseys. Category 5 are in light blue. But the riders pushing on the front and really stretching this out of the pen at the moment. Ross Solly is there. Johan Moreno is there. Carlos Ramirez is there. Pace comes off a bit as you see the group get wider. Stretch and wide. Moves like an accordion. The Category 3 riders out of the pen. And just one rider getting distanced at the moment. Not coming out. Wanting a steadier start there. Orego is there. Diduch is there. Bloom is there. Hernandez is there. Tidholm, Luke Allport. Luke Allport is at the front of the pack. The Level Racing rider in Category 3, really strong. This type of course I think should suit Luke Allport. The Aquarium climb, not too steep. But when we come to the back end of this, those steeper climbs do tend to suit Luke Allport. He goes well in California. He goes well in Belgium. So Nicole Cansara also there. Matthews Kalman there. There's a lot of names in this pack today who could do really well today. So Mark Gates here in the mix in the Category 3 race, right coming to the front. And it's interesting, isn't it? Because they are all rolling through. Kisnowski is in there as well. Guarin is there too. Ivo Sur, he is one of the strong riders. I don't know why I say he's one of the strong riders. There are so many strong riders in Category 3. But he is indeed one of the strong riders. And really interesting to me, the mix here between the riders who take the win and then take the sprint overall or take the climb overall. So Ivo Sur, look at that. Resplendent in his pain cave. We see him tucked nicely into the group. He's paying attention and riding strongly. I think it's going to be one to watch today. Nick Squilari, Matthews Kalman, Patrick Bloom are the riders around him right on the front as they go into the Ferrari showroom. And fabulous to see that as they roll through. Now, in category 3, we said Didac took the sprint overall, Elos took the climb overall, and David Goodall took the win overall, and Goodall goes up to category 2 this month. This week. Now, also interesting, in category 4, it was Carlos Arrieve who took the win last week. Valencia took the sprint and Francis Pino took the climb. So a real mix as we go through the different categories in terms of who has done well in each of the competitions. And not always the same person. The assumption that the overall winner takes the climb competition as well does play out sometimes, but not always. And riders really focusing on the elements they want to achieve. And I'll tell you something, that plays right the way through category 2 and category 1 as well, and we'll come to that shortly. So Ivo Sur in the mix here in category 3, back into category 4. Well, they're 5.7 kilometres into the race. They are rolling through this opening section, and there's been a bit of a split in the group, and this is interesting. So Buama, Ben Kirk, Maciek Skierski, Tom Walker, Polgarin, Pino at the front of the group, and there's a big group at the front, but then there's 1, 2, 3, I think it's 5 or 6 riders dropped from the group, and the pack are rolling strongly at the moment. You can see now one of the things to look for on the screen. When we highlight the riders, you can see how hard they're working, not by their heart rate, but by the zone that they are working in. This gives you the information specific to the rider. So Francis Pino at the moment we're highlighting. He is on screen at the moment. And if you take a look at the top of the right-hand corner of the main screen, currently flitting between zone 2 and zone 3. So he's on the easier end of that zone spectrum, and that gives you information specific to him. When they start hitting the green, the yellow, the orange and the red particularly is when it lights up, and you see them really push on into those higher levels of effort and work. And it really does give you a good indication, and probably the best indication of how hard the riders are working. Now, the pack at the moment rolling strongly. Pino, part and parcel of that group. Francis Pino, has indeed had top 5s before. He's a strong rider. He's often in contention. This course is going to be interesting. No pressure, Francis. I don't mean to, put you on the spot here whilst we've got you on our screen. But he is right towards the 4 of the category 4 race. He is positioning himself well. He's in the draft. Those numbers at the top are in green, 232 watts. And that's where he wants them to be for as much energy conservation as possible. So the category 4 riders are on the right-hand side of your screen, just gone past the 7-kilometre mark on this 45-kilometre race. On the left-hand side of your screen, that's the category 5 race. And well, Mark Dadson and Enrico Codrelli have gone clear of the group. Interesting move.
Listen.
Interesting move from Quadrelli and Dadson. 6 seconds clear of the chase. Chase being led by Cridland. These are 2 riders. They are not going to want to be clear in category 5 because they're both very strong riders. And I would expect a chase to start from behind. They're going to come soon onto the Aquarium climb. And by the time we get to the top there, I don't think we're going to see 2 riders clear. Now, Category 3 coming up to the 5-kilometre marker. This is a bit of a push just because of the changing nature of the terrain and riders using everything and anything possible to break these groups because they are so big. Category 3, 56 riders on the start sheets today. Tidholm, Fell, Sir, Gakes, Rushmer, Stedman, Oyer, all in the mix, all pushing on, all on the right side of this push. A long chain of riders behind. And this is an effort from the front of the pack just to start to drop riders off the back and make the group slightly smaller. Mark Gates, you can see him down in the Pain Cave, pushing on here, paying attention to the group. He's nicely in the bunch at the moment. And by the bunch, I mean the group who are pushing on our screen. It's a small gradient, just around 2% at the moment. They're about to come to the top of the climb. Just a very small hillock on the route, nothing like any of the categorized climbs, but enough to cause the group to stretch, enough to cause an attack on the front, and enough to cause damage on the back of the group. So category 3 on the right hand side of your screen, category 5 on the left, and Quadrelli has now dropped Dadson. So this is really interesting, and this is all about the changing nature of the terrain and the fact that it is quite rolling. Even before we get to the Aquarium climb, and Quadrelli and Dadson had gone clear of the chase group. Dadson now been pulled back in. There's the pack coming from behind. Quadrelli still hung out at the moment out front. Oh, we're in with Jacques Russenek, and you can see the concentration because of the push on this category 5 race at the moment, and he's really been pushing and working. The rest of the riders here really concentrating now, because take a look at the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. We've got one rider off the front, a leading pack, and then a gap, and then a small group of riders behind. This Category 5 pack has been really instrumental already in racing and racing hard. They're at the 12.2 kilometre marker. They're coming to the base of the Aquarium climb. The only way is up for a while, and it's going to be all different at the top. Well, Category 2 are in the start pen. Category 2, 62 riders in Category 2 today. And a number of teams at present: the Abu Dhabi team, the Shakanoot team, the Smarties, Take That, the Hitmen, UAE Falcons, and the UAE Clan team are all here. Now, Mads Buster from the Abu Dhabi team took the win last week in Category 2. Christoph Thiem from the Smarties took the climb, and Olivier Simmons from the Hitmen took the sprint. They're all here today, as well as Tattooed Coinston, who took 5th place for the Hitmen also. David Nitko was 2nd. Maciej Mendakowicz 3rd, Phil Graves was 4th. They are all in the start pen today, all 62 riders in those green jerseys, and they are pushing out of that pack and moving quickly already, just shy of 40 kilometres an hour within the first 100 metres. And the push is on from the front, actually. So Holweiler, Ospina, Morel, Trojanowski, and it is indeed Marcin Trojanowski who's on the front of the pack and absolutely motoring on that pink Carl Largo. Barra comes across and closes the gap, but take a look at the effort that it has taken to close down Trojanowski, and he's not going to win the race by this move, but he is definitely trying to light it up, but they're not having anything of it, and this is really interesting. Cam Winfield is in there, and that's always interesting to see. Winfield, a strong rider. Ivan Nuki, he'll be waiting for the climbs. Brilliant climber, Ivan Nuki. Wozniak is there, Ospina, Darn, all in the mix. They're coming towards the front of the pack. Maybe enough is enough. But I'll tell you something, Alessandro Barra has gone over the top of Marcin Trojanowski and is continuing to push. This is like 900 metres into a 45-kilometre race, and it is being dialed. Alessandro Barra on our screen at the moment. He's one of the riders doing the damage. Trojanowski is the rider with him. But Barra, the Italian rider, and working with the Polish rider, the two riders together, look what is being done behind. The stretch on the group behind. This is so fast. Well, they're all trying to find their spot in the race, and it will settle down. But the question is, how does it settle down, and what does it look like when it settles down? Well, at the moment, Wozniak, Ospina, and Josh, they've moved down the road 3 seconds ahead of this pack. This pack being led by X100 is the main pack on the road. But this main pack now, 2 groups ahead of them. It's a long race. There's a long way to go. Sometimes you just have to hold your nerve. Well, riders holding their nerve in the category 2 pack. Really interesting. To see, and this pack here being led by X100. Andrew Downey is here, Joselle Betty is here, David Darn is here. The riders now starting to come back together, and sometimes you just have to have confidence that that is what is going to happen, because 2 riders going clear at kilometre 1. Can it happen? Can it stay? I mean, we have seen really, really big breaks. I mean, I remember Ollie Jones, category 1 rider, putting in a phenomenal break. Probably about this time last year, and he stayed clear the whole race. I mean, they nearly caught him on the line. But they didn't. And but it is very, very rare and very much few and far between. And the pack here now being hunted down, and the pack, look at the stretch, the bottom left-hand corner graphic as they go into the sprint. The riders going in at the front, 2 seconds back. The main group being led here by these 2 riders as they come through this sprint. Bjorklund coming through for the sprint. I think Jakob Bjorklund, and look at the rider going up and over the top here. I think that's for the sprint. But as that sprint enacts and as that stretch takes place, the ability of those riders to come through and take that sprint, because they've got so much draft available because of the long line of riders. And I can tell you, Bjorklund did indeed put a push in, but he's not set the fastest time because a number of other riders, in fact, a whole host of other riders, took the opportunity from that stretch on the group to sprint. Olivier Simmons getting his timing and his technique right, taking the win from Tjord Allenjong and Anders Bengtsson. Category 1 down in the start pens. Abus Esports are here. Tugels, Van Elst and Paradians. Paradians took the sprint overall last week. Alpha Jaw, they're here too. Boss Moves Only, Farm Watts Squad and the Venga Boys. They are all on the start line. Now, Alpha Jaw last week, they packed it. Jones was 3rd. Kaminsky was 4th. Vujasin was 5th. Vujasin also took the climb overall competition. Jasper Paradians took the sprint overall competition for Abus Esports. Michael Vink took the win. Said Safrazadi was 2nd. But there are some superb riders in here. Stuart Miller is here. Yusuf Mirza Al Hamadi is here. Bruce Bird is here. Puckett Noren. Plantero Panizza, who's going really well. Jason Osborne and Michael Knudsen are here for Boss Moves Only. Germany and Denmark represented in that squad. Both strong riders. Who can do the business today? Well, Ricardo Panizza is leading this out, and he's leading it out hard. Panizza is pushing on those pedals out of that start pen. And I was going to say, now either he's finishing his warm-up, but I don't think he is. I think he really wants to get this moving. Panizza gets it moving. David Talbot closes it down, but Talbot's had to kick at 11 watts per kilo to close it down. He's had to redline everything. Stefan Van Elst, Hayden Pucker, Michael Plantero, Jason Osborne. Some of those riders wanting to take it a little bit steady, but you can already see 1 or 2 riders getting distanced here because of the start from Panizza, taking everybody by storm at the moment. The rider on the Venga Boys squad, well, the Italian rider really doing the business. We're in with him at the moment. I'm loving to see that he's got his gloves on at the moment in the studio. I've had my gloves on the bike this week for no other reason other than the fact that I've wanted the fan on, and it has been very cold because it's been -3 in my pain cave this week, and it is very, very cold in places across Europe and elsewhere in the world. And we all need to work out how we stay warm or how we stay cool whilst we're racing indoors. Now, Panizza and Talbot This is a dangerous duo. David Talbot, really strong racer as well, part and parcel of the Alpha Jaws squad, the rider from the USA. Really interesting move to go down the road with Riccardo Panizza so early on in the race. They're 1.1 kilometre into the race. The pack rolling behind. Ollie Jones, part and parcel of the pack. There he is, the rider in his pain cave. The fan is blowing, ensuring some hydration along the way, always key. He's in the mix. Pedersen is here as well. Great to see Pedersen here. Two, Pucker, Miller, Jacobs, Osborne, Plantro, Kaminsky, Van Elst. Christoph Kroll is here as well. The big push coming on now because I think we've decided that the riders down the road aren't allowed to stay down the road that long. We've got a bit of a move now. Jason Osborne, resplendent in those World Championship stripes on your screen. The World Champion, Stefan Van Elst with the Airbus jersey on, looking strong as well. Christoph Kroll, Hayden, Pucker, all starting to pay attention now in terms of closing down the gap, but it's at 6 seconds. Pucker's on the front of the pack at the moment. Panizza and Talbot are down the road. They're still pushing and pushing strongly 2K into the race. There's a lot of climbing to go. There's a lot of kilometres to go. I think the group will come back together. But at the moment, I think Panizza and Talbot would like to sneak away. Not quite sure how far they can sneak on this course, but you never know. So Olivier Simmons currently holding the fastest time through the Aldar HQ sprint in category 2. Really good move there, and some interesting, a lot of riders sprinting in category 2, particularly because of the conditions. The conditions of the race going into the sprint really meant that the big long stretch on the group enabled a lot of draft. So a lot of riders trying to make the most of that. Very different here. A much tighter group with 2 riders off the front, but Jasper Paradians, while he's going for the sprint, he took the sprint competition last week, the rider from Abus Esports, and you can just see he's gone into the green skin suit, indicating the leader in the sprint competition in that particular category. I've just had a little look on my screen to check and see whether he set the fastest time overall, and he has. But what's really interesting is Paradians to set that time of 11.975 seconds, 16 watts per kilo. Olivier Simmons, half a second back, 12 watts per kilo, and that's because Simmons had massive draft to take on the group and Paradians went out front, but Paradians capable of that level, 1,184 watts. Average for that sprint for Paradians. Allenjung and Bengston, category 2, top 4. Cridland, category 5, phenomenal performance there to have 5th place overall. Gomez, 6th place overall, category 4, another strong performance. Ross Fawcett, category 2, took 8th place. And Joachim Stretting, category 4, takes 9th. Rick van Urk from category 3 takes 10th place overall in the sprint. So some really strong sprint performances right the way through the race categories today in the Aldar HQ sprint. Well, the pace in the category 2 race, so strong. Take a look at that. They're 4 kilometres. Yes, I did say that. 4 kilometres ahead of the category 1 race field. The category 2 race field started 5 minutes earlier than the category 1 race. All of our 6 races are staggered. 5 minutes between category 1 and category 2, then 10 minutes between category 2 and category 3, 5 minutes between category 3 and 4, 5 minutes between category 4 and 5, and 5 minutes between category 5 and 6. But I can tell you how fast the category 2 race field are moving because of the distance between the 2 race fields. Absolutely phenomenal. Really strong riding from category 2. But I tell you something, category 1 are coming swift on their heels because that's a strong pace today from category 1 as well. Well, category 1 at 4.3, category 2 at 7.9, category 3, 13.9 kilometres. They are on the Aquarium climb. Category 4 are on the descent of the Aquarium climb. They're on the other side at 16.9, and it has split big style. So Bruce Bird goes on the push. And Bird, interesting manoeuvre here because Panizza and Talbot are 7 seconds clear now off the front of this Category 1 pack. They've not been instrumental in bringing them back. But Bruce Bird, I'll tell you something, the Canadian rider has been really impressing me on the Echelon Racing League recently. He's been so dynamic and looking so strong. And obviously targeting those Canadian championships early in February and doing a sterling job both on the Echelon Racing League and now on the Sunday Race Club. He's progressed from Category 2 into Category 1, and he is not shy about mixing it with these guys at all. So Bird on our screen at the moment. You can see him up and out the saddle. Knudson's just closed him down, so is Van Elsten, Osborne, and because of the action from Bruce Bird, the rest of the riders now chasing and trying to close that gap down to Panizza and Talbot. So Category 4, Category 5, and I want to say Category 6, yep, indeed, Category 6, are over the Aquarium climb so far. In fact, 108 riders. 108 riders already over the Aquarium climb. And take a look at those numbers. 253 men on the course at the moment on the Sunday Race Club. The numbers are growing. If you want to be part and parcel of any of these 6 race categories, you know what to do. You head over to MyWhoosh.com, you click on the events page, you open up the Sunday Race Club, and then you take a read of the technical guide and the rule set, and it tells you everything you need to know about how to do verification, what trainers are acceptable, how to do dual record, all the things you need to know to get onto the Sunday Race Club, and you can join us. It doesn't matter what category you are in, whether you are a sub 2 watts per kilo FTP rider, whether you are an elite world-class rider, there is something for you on the Sunday Race Club. Whether you are a sprinter and you want to come and target those sprints, whether you're a climber or whether you're an overall GC rider, come along. Join us, join the growing community, and the women's competition and the men's competition growing at the moment every week. And it's fabulous to see our new riders coming in. It's also fabulous to see our established riders doing well. And Ivo Sur in Category 3. I said you needed to watch him today because he's up and out of the saddle. He's coming through the polka dot banner signifying the end of the Aquarium climb. That's Category 3, also through the Aquarium climb. But I can tell you, Patrick Karlstrom has just snuck it from Ivo Sur in terms of setting the fastest time. It's not always the first rider over the line who sets the fastest time, and often, in terms of technique, our riders drop to the back of the group or somewhere in the middle of the group if they think they are going to be strong, even on the climbs, just to make up those fractions of a second. And Patrick Karlstrom, I'll tell you something, Karlstrom is an absolute class rider when it comes to getting his technique right in terms of targeting those climbs in particular. And fabulous to see him do it and do it so well. He's also a dab hand at taking the win as well and being really strong. So Karlstrom in the mix in the group, and a lot of riders still in the mix in this group. In fact, 31, 32, 33 riders already over the line at the top of the Aquarium climb in that Category 3 race. 56 riders were on the start sheet, so that's about 23 riders short, but it makes a massive front group. Well, we go from a massive front group to a small front group because Talbot and Panizza, they've done it. This, I need some warning bells. Ding, 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 ding. Talbot and Panizza, David Talbot from the Alpha Jaw squad, Riccardo Panizza from the Venga Boys. They have gone clear 17 seconds now to the chasing group in Category 1. This is a move. This could be the move of the day. And all credit to Riccardo Panizza and David Talbot. But this is the pack, and Michael Vink is on the front. The Vinkinator is on the front of the pack and going nowhere. Arnie Jacobs, Stuart Miller, Pedersen, Tugels, Kroll, all in the mix here. But this pack are rolling and rolling steady. Not too much of a charge coming from behind those two riders. I tell you something, if Panizza and Talbot can do it and take 1 and 2 today, I might have to finish the Christmas chocolates. Well, Mohammed El Alami in the mix is on the screen, and you can see this is one of the best pieces of bike art, and there's a lot of bike art around when we go into the pain caves of our riders, but El Alami's bike art is absolutely fabulous. He's also a class rider, and Joel Lewis is in there as well. He's David Darn. Niall Beatty is the rider in the category 3 who is at the back of that race field who they're chasing. I know, and I think Batty has been racing regularly at the moment and wanting to get the completion of the 2 verificated rides for the final, because the final course is already published this month on the MyWhoosh events page for the Sunday Race Club. We know where we're going, and I tell you something, I think it will suit Niall Beatty in category 3. Well, where category 2 are going at the moment, they're going onto the Aquarium climb, because that polka dot banner is the start of the Aquarium climb. They've caught the back markers in the category 3 race who started 10 minutes before them. There's Dorvin Ellos just going past him, and the push is on the front of the group at the moment. Trojanowski is there again. This is the type of course that will suit him really well. Wozniak as well. These riders, and Nitko, to be honest, the Polish riders, some really, really strong Polish riders on the Sunday Race Club. There's some really strong Polish riders on MyWhoosh, full stop. And of course, we have Carol, the coach from Poland as well, on the live coaching, and a large number of riders utilising Carol's live coaching sessions, both English and Polish spoken in those sessions. So great to have bilingual coaches on the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. But at the moment, Bjarhead, SS Kane, Bjorkland, Holweiler, Hansen, all in the mix. It's a big group of category 2 riders on the lower slopes of the Aquarium climb. The category 3 riders, I love that. They've just tried to jump in and hold on to the back of the group. And why not? No one's stopping you do that. Now, in terms of category 3, riders over the top, we saw Karlstrom take the fastest time. Sir, Fenderich, Kisnowski, Guarin, Kansara, Fell, Duma, Guerra and Brook. The top 10 over the top in category 3 of the Aquarium climb. Category 4 is Trujillo from Abello and Miller. In category 5, it was Ola Warren who took the fastest time. Look at that. I think that's, if you're watching the women's race, we were playing Mistake Bingo today. That's number 4. Mark it up. Ola Warren, category 5, takes the fastest time up and over the Aquarium climb from Florian Dromard. And in category 6, it was Johnson Kutab who took the fastest time from Lenador. So fabulous to see our riders and racers up and over the Aquarium climb. Category 2 are going to be next, and the group is huge. Keridine, El Alami and Mukhtari are the riders on the win. And look at the difference in cadence. Really, really interesting. Keridine up and out the saddle, tapping away on those pedals. High cadence. El Alami sat down. Good strong cadence again. Mukhtari, hydration is key, and don't ever forget that. And Mukhtari there, you can see just reaching for the water bottle as we seem to have a push on the front of the group. The gradient not that steep on the Aquarium climb. The average gradient over the 3.2 kilometre climb, 2.5%. It does have steeper sections of around 4.5, but that means it also has shallower sections as well. But it's David Nitko at the moment and Ike Morel who are doing the pushing on the front here. And they are indeed pushing. Well, as the push continues to come, David Nitko, the Polish rider on the front, but Ike Morel chasing and leading the charge behind. It's just a 1 second gap. He's just hanging off the front at the moment. I think we're going to see it close down because, look at the concentration there. From Nitko as he continues to push. SS now coming to the front with Betty and Ospina. Havo is there and El Alami. These riders are not going to let anybody go clear on the Aquarium climb. There's far too much racing to go in category 2. And this category, one of the ones where we see such close racing week in, week out on the Sunday Race Club. And really, really phenomenal racing in this category, and they are indeed so close. I mean, Category 2, quite often you can throw a blanket over them on the finish line. And I can tell you, I'm just taking a look at the results from last week. The top 4 riders last week, 1 second separated them. The top 5 riders, well, add about 2 more. Yeah, it was so close. So the top 5 riders, so Mads Buster, David Nitko, Masit Mendakowicz, Phil Graves, and Tatu Koivunen last week. The racing was so close over that 50.5 kilometre race. So let's not forget, last week's race was longer than this week, and it was still so close. So I'm expecting that this race today, or in the category 2 men, is continues to be close. Now, I tell you what is interesting: David Talbot and Riccardo Panizza. I might be finishing the Christmas chocolates, because they are now 30 plus seconds clear of the rest of the category 1 race field, and it's looking like around 350 meters up the road now as well. This is a really strong ride. So Panizza and Talbot broke away very early on. In fact, Riccardo Panizza went hard out of the start pen, really wanting to instigate the move. Panizza from the Wenger boys, really with a plan. A very clear plan. David Talbot, very shortly from the Alpha Jaw squad, went up the road to cover the move. And now Talbot and Panizza are clear of the rest of the chasing pack in category 1 by over 30 seconds. They are now on the Aquarium climb. And this is going to be really interesting, because this is going to give us the information as to who is climbing quicker and whether that gap is going to stay. I think the chase group are climbing quicker, but we're not going to know until we get to the very top. But the chase group, packed with talent: Paradians, Noren, Miller, Osborne, Jones, Pucker, Andreasen, Vink. They are leading the charge, and Michael Vink on the front of that group. On the other side of the Aquarium climb, the category 2 race field, well, the descent is doing more damage to this group than the ascent. And Betty is off the front. SS, Coinston and Downey, they're all trying to chase back on. Theme is there as well as Graves. And they really need to bring this group back together again, because they get to the bottom of the Aquarium climb. There's a very small transition before they go up the Leeward Desert climb. They need to bring this back, because they don't want to happen what's happened in the category 1 race: out of sight, out of mind, and a 30-second gap to the leaders. So Tatu Koivunen on your screen at the moment, and you can see that gap now being closed down and brought back, and Koivunen part and parcel of bringing that gap back down. So Ospina, Koivunen, Darn, Graves and Downey now bringing Betty back in. Betty in the polka dot skin suit, but part and parcel of that category 2 race field. He set the fastest time up the Aquarium climb, which means he takes that polka dot skin suit for the moment. He is in that group of category 2 green jersey racers. Frederick Grombeer is there, so is Simon Walter. And the pack now all coming back together again as they get towards the bottom of the descent of the Aquarium climb. Now, the category 1 race are still on the ascent, and Michael Vink has started pushing now at really strong pace from Vink, Vu, Yasin, Van Elst, Kroll, Pucker, Tugels, Jacobs, all responding as well. In fact, the whole pack responding at the moment. This is not a particularly steep climb. Look at the top right-hand corner of the screen, 2.5% at the moment. There's going to be a more of a flatter section coming, so one would think a little respite, but I'll tell you something, there'll be no respite here, because the push is on, because Panizza and Talbot are up the road. Yeah, they are indeed, and we're just taking a look. 17 seconds up the road at the moment, and the gap is coming down, but it's not coming down quick enough. They're not bringing them back in yet. So we're in with Sai Safrazadi, and you can see the effort going in from Safrazadi, pushing on the back wheels of Tugels and Osborne, Kroll and Van Elst, because they do not want this group to break. So the aim here is to stay in the group, keep the group together, but bring the gap down. It's a lot of things to think about at the same point in time, but you do not want to let anybody go from this group and bridge to the others and then help Panizza and Talbot ride away. Vu Yasin is on our screen at the moment. The fan is rolling in his pain cave, because this is hard work. This is a big push on the Aquarium climb, trying to use the climb to bring the breakaway back. I tell you what, it's working. They're at 10 seconds. There you go. They can see them. So Panizza and Talbot come into view. Now, Talbot, part and parcel of the same squad as Vujasin, Kaminsky and Jones and Daniel Turek. So my question is, did AlphaJaw deliberately send Talbot down the road to mark Panizza? I think the answer to that is probably yes, because that AlphaJaw squad absolutely on the ball. They know exactly what they're doing. And Panizza is the rider who needs to push on here if they want to stay away. And Talbot just sat on his wheel because he knows his teammates are coming. So Talbot taking a break. That's what you could, if that's what you could call it right now, but they're coming towards the top of the Aquarium climb. Talbot coming back into the group. Panizza on the front, but this is the group. They're going over the top. Vujasin is leading the charge. Panizza and Talbot now back into the leading group of the Category 1 race, and what they've got to now do is stay in it. They need to stay in the group, and actually the catch is good because the catch is at the top of the climb. The descent is now coming, and as long as these riders back off now for the descent, yep, it looks as though they might have, though Jason Osborne might be pushing on a little bit. Christoph Kroll is picking up the pace. That's to close down the gap. The gaps need closing, so the group gets tight for the descent. So what does it mean? It means that the fastest time on the Aquarium climb today, 4 minutes 51 seconds. Stefan van Elst from the ABUS Esports squad. Lionel Vujasin, who we saw closing it down at the front of the pack, 0.146 of a second back for the AlphaJaw squad. Then Tugel's Kroll, Osborne, Nelson, Paradians, Kaminsky, Safrazadi and Pedersen. The top 10. Really, really strong racing. In fact, 19 riders from Category 1 setting the fastest time. Talbot and Panizza in 29th and 30th. Interesting moves. So 21 riders really pushing on and in contention here in the Category 1 race. It really is a cracker. So Jakob Bjorklund doing the business in Category 2. This is interesting. At 20.1 kilometres there on the Leeward Desert Climb Category 2. Look at the size of that group. Category 2. I never know why I get surprised about the size of the group in Category 2, but I do. They still surprise me that they are all in there. But Mendakowicz and Bjorklund are the riders pushing on at the front. On the Leeward Desert Climb, SS, Havo, Darn, right in the mix. But take a look at how many riders are in the mix at the 20.3 kilometre marker. The climb about to give some respite. You can see the gradient of the climb on the top right hand corner of your screen. We're about to come onto the plateau between the two sections of the Leeward Desert Climb. When they come down the other side, or should I say when they get to the top, it's a 14.4 kilometre run to the base of the Tel Marib section. And that's where most of the final climbing comes on the course today. But at the moment, this is the battle to stay with the leading group in Category 2 because there's some respite in the transition between the two sections of climbing on this course. But you've got to be at the top of the climb with this group. I mean, Dakowitz is trying to break it with Betty and Bjorklund, and they're doing a sterling job in Category 2. Category 3 at 26.5 kilometres. They are a lot further down the road. And it's a big group on the road there. Category 4 are coming up to the 30 kilometre marker, and Tom Walker has broken away in Category 4. Coming up to 30k, around 4 kilometres to go till they hit the Tel Marib section. And Walker, well, 15 seconds clear of the chase behind. It's a big group behind. You can see the size of the group on the base of the screen on the left-hand corner. Starting to work their way through Category 5, the earliest starting race field. But Walker doing a brilliant job today in Category 4. So Category 2 on your screen at the moment. This is the very top section of the Leeward Desert Climb, and SS, Betty, Mendakowicz and Koivunen are pushing on. In fact, Koivunen, Morel and Holweiler just 2 seconds back. They're in that group behind. The 3 riders at the front pushing hard. The rest will close in. They need to close in, but they will at least, I think, close in before we hit the Tel Marib climb. It's a long run. It's 14 kilometres. This group, I think, will come back together. I don't think we're going to see 3 riders go clear on this group. There's the banner. This could be the battle for who takes the top spot on the Leeward Desert Climb and who holds that polka dot skin suit. And you can see at the moment it is resplendent on the shoulders of Joselle Betty. There he is in his pain cave, and the polka dot skin suit on his back, showing that he has indeed scored the most points in that points competition on the King of the Mountains. One more climb to go in that competition to see if he holds it. So Betty taking the fastest time up the Leeward Desert Climb from SS, Mendakowitz and Alanjong. Skierski in 5, Havo in 6, Buster in 7th, Josh in 8th, Coinston in 9th, and Morel in 10th. It's a big group of Category 2 riders. 27 riders in that leading group. Well, in the leading group in Category 1, it's not 27 riders, but it's still a big group. They're coming into the base of the Leeward Desert Climb. So Category 2 go over the top. Category 1 come into the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 riders. They split into this group, and you can see that split. So 2 groups now. We had 21 riders last time we were in with Category 1. We've now got 2 groups, 10 in the front, I assume 11 in the back. But at the moment, it's Jason Osborne pushing on the pedals. On the climb at the moment, the world champion wanting to go away from the group, Stefan van Elst covering the move. Nice move from the Abus Esports rider. Really strong. Van Elst in the polka dot skin suit, signifying the fastest climber on the Aquarium climb in Category 1. Hayden Pucker side Safra Zadie, all watching the move. What a move by Jason Osborne. What a move by Stefan van Elst. What a close down. Van Elst and Pucker doing a phenomenal job here in Category 1, matching Jason Osborne. Interesting move because actually taking a look at this course, this is a good course for Hayden Pucker. Short, sharp, massive power, big kick. Van Elst as well. Michael Vink. Oh, the Vinkinator's in trouble at the moment. He's going to have to close down the gap and get back onto Nudson's wheel. Jasper Paradians, the rider in the green skin suit, the leader in the sprint competition at the moment in Category 1. In this second group with Kaminsky and Tolbert and Noren, Pedersen and Kroll dropped back even further. You can see the effort on Kaminsky's face because of the pace of this group at the moment on the Leeward Desert Climb. This is the flatter section in between the 2 short, sharp climbs. The shorter section due to come before they hit the top of the climb and then transition into that long, gentle run of 14 kilometres into the Tel Marib climbing sections. They go past Beatty in Category 3. This is the leading group in Category 1, and they are all chasing Jason Osborne. He's 3 seconds clear at the moment. Michael Vink now coming to the fore. He's found his power button and he's pushed it because he's moving on now. Van Elsten, Knudsen, Pucker, and Vu Yassin Tugels is there as well. They're all 2 seconds back. The push is on as they continue the charge. They're very, very near the top here of the Leeward Desert Climb. The polka dot banner is coming. It's just around the bend. Osborne, I think, is going to go under it first, but the group are coming very, very quickly. Oh, look at Van Elst move. He wants to retain that polka dot skin suit. Does he do it? Oh, yes, he does. Stefan van Elst showing us exactly what you need to do to stay in charge in the sprint competition. Coming from the back to the front at the banner to take the climb by 0.264 of a second from Lionel Vu Yassin. So Van Elst sets the fastest time, 3 minutes and 4 seconds up the climb. Vu Yassin, Knudsen, Vink, Osborne, Tugel, Safra Zadie, Pucker, Betty and SS. Josel Betty setting the fastest time in Category 2, 21 seconds slower than Stefan van Elst. Well, Van Elst set the fastest time up the climb, but Osborne has continued to push on the descent here. So Osborne and Vink now pushing on the descent. The 2 riders going clear. The others really
go with the video.
What's happening. Or else we are going to have a gap in that Category 1 race. 4 seconds at the moment as Osborne and Vink go clear. Wow. What a race so far. Category 1 at 22.6, Category 2 25.2, Category 3 coming up to 31 kilometres, and Category 4 33.5. Well, do you know what? Let's have a rider spotlight. First time in the men's race this year.
My name's Sai Bradley. I'm from Staffordshire in the United Kingdom, and I'm a coach here at MyWhoosh. My favourite course is Paso de Alto for the Sunday Race Club. I just seem to go well on that particular climb. My biggest fan, well, that's my daughter, my 6-year-old daughter, Eliza. She loves getting on the turbo trainer and riding herself in-game also. And often when I'm racing on a Sunday, she's here stood by the side, watching the avatars and cheering me on at the same time. Post-race on a Sunday, I'm an Englishman, so I like my tea. I'll take a banana, but I also take a hobnob biscuit for those who know what hobnob biscuit is. A little bit of chocolate. Really sweet and really good to help that recovery. Who's the coolest rider in SRC? I think it has to be a guy I consider to be the GOAT of all time, Lionel Vujas. I just love the way he's raced. He's been in the sport for a long time, a true cycling esports athlete in my view. My advice for new SRC riders is to make sure you're really warm, because dependent on the category, racing often goes out hard from the start and riders still chase those segment jerseys, so just make sure you have a really good warm-up. What's your words would to describe SRC? Tough racing. It's a fist pump celebration like this. But quite often, I've just had a great race and I end up slumped over the handlebars, feeling exhausted, but feeling like I've had a great race.
Oh, I can't wait, I tell you, for more of these rider spotlights in both the women's and the men's race. But who would have expected the Lionel Vujas pop up there? That was absolutely brilliant as well. Love it, love it, love it. Well, Vujas is on our screen at the moment and he's pushing on. And on the back of the pack with Tugels in that Category 1 race, we had 2 riders down the road, but just take a look right down the road. This is 34.5 kilometres into the race, and we're in with Tom Walker, the leader in the Category 4 competition. But take a look at the bottom left-hand corner of your screen at the moment. The leader in the Category 5 competition is clear. The leader in the Category 6 competition is clear. But look at the line, the colourful rainbow of light blue, red and purple jerseys. They are all on the very first Telmareeb climb, and they're all coming towards the top. Now, this is not a categorised climb in this race. It doesn't count towards the overall climbing competition, but boy, can you feel it. It is so, so steep. Average gradient of 10% over 800 metres. And Tom Walker is doing the business in Category 1, but the chase is not far behind.
I lost you.
Really needing to continue with the work he's doing.
Okay, I got you back.
1 as he continues to push, but as we see, we've got Vujas is the rider we're following in Category 1 at 25.6, Category 2 at 28, Category 3 33.5, Category 4 Tom Walker coming up to the 35 kilometre marker. He's on the top of the climb. The Category 3 riders are coming into the base of. As we drop back in with the Category 1 race at 25.8, we're going to take a look at where they are, what's going on, but there is action everywhere because Phil Graves has gone off the front of the pack, because I'll tell you something, Mendakowicz and Havo have already put a push on. This is a move to close down the gap. Close the gap. Havo, Graves pushing on. They are moving through and moving past a group of Category 3 and Category 4 riders. And this is when it gets really technical because the riders all starting with the gaps between them. So 6 discrete races on the same race course at the same time. The Category 6 start first. Category 2 started a significant period of time after Category 6, and they have caught through and worked their way through the earlier starting race fields. Now, when they come onto a pack of riders in another race field, it's a technical moment on their own race because they need to get clear of the group and not get caught out or split. So it really, really does pay attention and to ensure no gaps go. And that's what Phil Graves was doing in Category 2. In Category 5 at the moment, Simon Betts is at the front of the race. Lempinen is in 2. Smithson is in 3. Quadrelli is in 4. And Francis is in 5. Johnson Kutab and Jerome Smith, the Category 6 riders, well, the Category 5 riders have just gone past the leaders in that Category 6 competition. They're on the small climb before the Tel Marib Dune climb and working really hard. Well, coming up for 30 kilometres into the race, it's X100 on the front of the Category 2 pack, and he's pushing on strongly. It was him and Mendakowicz that Graves was chasing. Mendakowicz is back in the pack, but X100 is still 1 second, 2 seconds clear of that chase group. Well, the chase group and X100 now going through the Tel Marib sprint. Just before they come into those Tel Marib climbs and the sprint competition in Category 2. Competitive as it is in all of those race categories that are just coming up onto the back of Nicholas Spratt, the Category 3 rider. And, well, the Category 2 sprinters coming through, and we can see, well, where are they is my question. And I can tell you they are not at the top of the table. So Tour Alanjung sets the fastest time in Category 2 for the sprint this time and takes the green skin suit. Ica Morel comes through in second place, but they are 13th and 15th respectively at the moment on that sprint section. I can tell you, Diego Navarro from Category 4 currently holds the Tel Marib sprint. Dylan Kennett from Category 5 sits in second place. And I think that looking at the the average watts, can I just say, Dylan Kennett, 1,464 watts average for the 200 metre sprint. My spies tell me he once raced on the track. No surprise he can sprint like that. But I tell you something, it's all about the draft because Navarro has gone faster and not hit the same type of power. I mean, tell me something, Navarro's still gone over 1,000 watts average for that sprint to top the table at the moment. I'm not sure anyone can beat him. We've only got Category 1 left to go through the Tel Marib sprint, and it depends what Jasper Paradines wants to do, because Paradines to me is the only person who can top the table. Diego Navarro, congratulations. Dylan Kennett, brilliant work. Andre Diduch in third place, Category 3. He's leading the Category 3 sprint there. Phenomenal sprinting across these categories and great work. Now, X100 is in the mix here and leading Category 2 at the moment. Now, this is really interesting. So X100 has been really pushing on here. We saw Phil Graves and try and chase him down with Mendakowicz. And the move is now gone because Bjarhead has crossed to X100. So X100 and Bjarhead both together. 2 riders clear. It's around 5 seconds. Simon Walter, who we can see in the pain cave with the big screen in front of him, part and parcel of this pack. Walter, a really strong Category 2 rider. I say that like there's not many of them. There are a lot of really strong Category 2 riders. Part and parcel of the Smarties squad. Christoph Thiem, his teammate, took the climbing competition overall last week. So Walter in this chase group, and one rider just going off the front of the chase group here, trying to bring back X100. and his escapee. Well, taking a look at that, it is Sebastian Havo, who is the rider who's trying to close the gap down to X100, and Jonas Bjarhed, the two riders who are clear. X100 digs again, but then instantly off the pace. I think he's going to be happy to let Havo come over. It's a 5-second gap, and Sebastian Havo showing you there how it is possible to cross the gap and to join the leading group. But the leading group not attacking again whilst that move being made, and the rear group not responding. Now they're coming into the run, and you can see it on the top right-hand corner of your screen, the climb. The climb is coming, and Havo's on our screen at the moment. You can see the fan trying to keep him cool whilst he works hard, just crossing that gap to X100 and Bjarhed. So the gap is now at 8 seconds, but they're coming into now the Tel Marib section of climb. 3 main climbs through this section, through the dunes. The first climb, 800 meters, average gradient 10%. The second climb, not as long, around 600 meters, but it's still as steep, still around 10%. The third climb, the Tel Marib dune climb, is a categorized climb today. It is 1 kilometer inland, so 1,000 meters. Just over 10% average gradient. From the top of that is then a 5.3 kilometer run to the finish line, and it's rolling. Now, Josel Betty, we can see here on the screen in the polka dot skin suit, signifying the fastest climber so far overall in this competition. Part and parcel of the group with SS and Krasnich and Walter. But very interesting, because this group of 3 have really now extended their lead. So Bjarhed, X100 and Havo, the leaders in the category 2 race, they've given themselves slippage room. I'm going to call it slippage room. They have attacked, and they are 15 seconds clear now going into the Tel Marib climbing section. Not far behind, though, I have to say. They're 2 kilometers behind is Osborne and Vink. Osborne and Vink have gone clear in category 1. They're 40 seconds clear of Pucker, who's leading the charge behind. In category 3 at 37.7 kilometers. This is the interim climb between the 2 main Tel Marib climbs, and Fenderich sur Tidholm Godzari. Oh, good group, still together, still tapping out a strong rhythm, and it's a big group. Take a look at that. Now, on the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, you can see 1 leading group, then a small gap, and then a huge group of Category 2 riders. In fact, that second group is just at 2 seconds and being led by Nathan Guerra at the moment. Nico Cansara is there as well. So this is strong riding and strong racing. They're going to drop down the other side, and then they're going to go into the main Tel Marib dune climb. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 6 riders leading this Category 3 race, but the rest of the pack are not far behind. Guerra and Cansara now at 8 seconds. In fact, Guerra on the back of this group, so he's in with Sir Fenderich, Tidholm, Godzari and Clays. That's a class front group at the front of that Category 3 race. On the right-hand side of your screen, well, this is a little bit further up the road, and this is Tom Walker. We saw him last time at the head of the Category 4 race, but not a big gap. Well, it's exactly the same. So Tom Walker is still at the head of the Category 4 race, but just 6 seconds. Nicolas Trujillo is there. Alex West is there. Those 2 riders battling for second and third at the moment. 15 seconds back to Skirski and Pulgarin. The Category 4 race is not over yet. There's 5.5 kilometers to go, and it is majoritively, I was going to say majority flat, but it's not. There's some downhill and there's a couple of slow climbs, but the majority of the climbing is done. They are at 498 meters of climbing, and there's about 30 meters of climbing to go in that Category 4 race. Well, they've given themselves 14 seconds. It's now 20 seconds. So X100, Havo and Bjarhed knew what they were doing. They gave themselves 14 seconds at the base of the climb. The 3 riders leading the Category 2 race. And they've established a bigger gap. Now it is at 19 seconds. But Betty, who's leading overall in that polka dot jersey competition, the climbing competition in Category 2, now coming to the fore of the chase behind us. So is Tatu Koivunen, and Koivunen is pushing with Betty. Those riders now with a target to get to these three riders. That 34.7 kilometers. They're going to drop down the other side of the Tel Marib climb and into the mid climb before the Tel Marib June climb. And it's the June climb. I think we may well see this group. Well, can the catch be made? Can they bring them back? It's 19 seconds at the moment, but Betty is now on a charge, and Betty is not a rider to give up when it comes to climbing. He's going to want to maintain that climbing competition, and he's going to want to close this gap down. But X100, Havo and Biarhead, they are looking for the win today. The question is, will these three riders work together to establish it? So Jason Osborne, look at the kick. So coming into the Tel Marib climbing section, Osborne has decided he doesn't want to ride with Michael Vink. One is what he wants, and he just wants it to be himself on a lone ride to the finish. There's just over 10 kilometres to go, and Jason Osborne has decided now is the time to kick. And he has indeed pushed on one of the steeper sections of this climb. He is heading past Carvajal and Bristolin in category 4. He goes past John Brune in category 2. They were earlier starting races. The category 1 race, the last race out of the start pen today. Jason Osborne leading, resplendent in those World Championship rainbow bands. Michael Vink is chasing and chasing hard, but I tell you what, he is at 13 seconds now. The chase is on in category 1. And third, fourth, fifth and sixth, well, they are some way behind because Osborne and Vink put a big gap in together. That's on the left-hand side of your screen. On the right-hand side of your screen, Simon Betts, well, that's the category 5 rider. And I'll tell you something, he's 1.8 kilometres from the finish. He's got this gradual climb to go and then the descent towards the finish line. Betts now 14 seconds clear of Quadrelli, Smithson, Lempinen, Francis, Motmans. The 5 riders chasing have all come together. This is one rider with a chase group of 5. This is the category 5 race, and it's going to be the first race to finish today on the Sunday Race Club. So Simon Betts on the left-hand side of your screen, the rider here pushing on, the rider from Germany in category 5, clear of the chase group on the right-hand side of your screen, 17 seconds clear at the moment. Betts pushing, look at the power, look at the pace. So Betts currently 33 kilometres per hour, the chase group 31 kilometres an hour. The gradient pretty equal. So Betts doing a great job out on his own, a great solo ride at the moment. The chase group behind, well, who's leading the charge? I think this is a case of everybody wanting somebody else to pick up the pace because they're about to come onto the descent. The descent then runs into the finish line. And this is a 5-up group sprint, potentially for second place today. So phenomenal racing in category 5, phenomenal racing in all of our race categories today, as category 2 leaders Biarhead, X100 and Havo go past Kevin Horsley, the category 4 rider. But X100, Havo and Biarhead, the gap is now at 19 seconds. So they are holding, the 3 leaders in category 2 are holding the chase behind. That's on the left-hand side of your screen. On the right-hand side of your screen, Simon Betts, the gap, he's holding it as well. 18 seconds it is at the moment, though it's winding up behind, and it's winding up behind because the finish line is coming. Simon Betts from Germany is going to be the first rider in Qualifier 2 in January 2025 on the Sunday Race Club to see the UCI banner. The finish line of the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club today. It's category 5 coming to the line first. And it's Simon Betts who broke away from the group. The group are coming, but they are not coming fast enough. Simon Betts is going to come over the line for first place today in category 5. And quite right too. Celebrations all round. Congratulations, Simon Betts. Well, the sprint is coming from behind, and it's Enrico Quadrelli who's launched the sprint. Lemponen, Francis Smithson and Motmans are not going to make it, but it is indeed Enrico Quadrelli who picks up second place today in Category 5. Lemponen, I think, is going to take third. Smithson fourth. Francis fifth. Motman sixth. Dadson is coming towards the line now, as well as Mukhtari and Dromard. Lasno is there as well. It's tightly packed now for the lower positions, but what great racing in Category 5. I tell you, the Simon Betts taking the win. Mukhtari is the rider we're looking at the moment. I need to put my teeth in. The racing is so good. Actually, what I need to do is just take a drink. Hydration key for riders, hydration key for commentators, as Jerome Smith from Category 6. This is a fabulous ride from Smith today. So Jerome Smith is going to be the first Category 6 rider to see the finish line today. He is 8 seconds clear of Johnson. Kutab behind. Smith comes under the line to take the win in Category 6. Kutab will come through in second place. John Wakefield, Bertrand Warren, all from Category 5 finishing. And I'll tell you something, the race in Category 4 is not far behind. And Tom Walker has done a phenomenal job of staying clear. But does he stay clear to the line? Oh, I think he's just going to make it. But Skiski is coming at a massive sprint. Can Tom Walker pick it up? Tom Walker picks up the pace. Skiski's coming. Can Walker make it under the line? He can. Tom Walker takes the win in Category 4. Skiski will take second place, I think, and win the sprint from Trujillo and West. Great racing. Let me just confirm that. So Tom Walker takes the win in Category 4. Skirski takes second. Trujillo takes third. West takes fourth. And Polgarin takes fifth. So Category 6, Smith, Kutab, Lenador. Category 5, Betts, Quadrelli and Lemponen. Category 4, the sprints are coming now for the minor places. It was Tom Walker from Skirski, from Trujillo, West and Polgarin. The riders are now coming in thick and fast over the finish line at the 45-kilometre marker. Back down the road, though, this is Category 3. They're going to be the next riders to see the finish line. I'll tell you something, this is a strong group. Daniel Tidholm, Conrad Fenderich, Ivo Sur, Arvin Godzari is here. The riders pushing on, and it's Tidholm leading this out at the moment. So Daniel Tidholm leading out the Category 3 race at 43.8 kilometres, 1.2k to go. 5.6k to go for the Category 2 race. Havo X100. They are still together. Just trying to take a look. It's looking like Skirski is the rider. Now, 6 seconds back, Ica Morel is there as well. We had Bjarhead in the mix as well a little bit earlier on. Doesn't look like he's there at the moment. They are at the 39.5 kilometre marker. They're on that Telmarie Dune climb. They really are now coming towards the top of that. Then it's the downhill run with the rollers coming towards the finish. That's going to be an interesting run, but this is going to be an interesting run as well because there's 800 metres to go. Ivo Sur is currently on the front of the group. They're running into the back of some Category 5 and 4 riders. But it's the Category 3 race we are looking at. Sur is in the polka dot skin suit. The other riders in the group that we are looking at are in the blue, and there's a big kick coming from behind at the moment. The riders not wanting to open up the sprint just yet, but they need to know soon because Tidholm is on the back of the group and we're about to see a kick, and Fenderich has gone. Fenderich opens up first, but Paredes does as well. Pablo Paredes, what a sprint on him, but Fenderich is in the run. Who's going to take this? Is Fenderich going to take this, or is Paredes going to come over the top? I think Conrad Fenderich, he's running into the back of the Category 4 rider. He's going to come through the line. It's going to be close, but I think that is Fenderich. Maybe Godzari come over the top. I can tell you, wow. I'm waiting for it to update because that was so close. Even the computer has had to think. Fenderich did indeed get it from Godzari, from Tidholm, Paredes, and Sur, Kisnowski, and Clays. Do you know, I'm so pleased the computer had to think about that. but Conrad Fenderich did indeed get that from Godzari. That was so close. What a sprint in category 3. That was absolutely amazing. Sprints that close after 45 kilometres of racing. We can't give you any more excitement on the Sunday Race Club than there already is, because, well, do you know what? It's so exciting. The sprints after sprints after sprints, absolutely phenomenal. But Jason Osborne on the left-hand side of your screen, currently leading the Category 1 race. He broke away from Michael Vink. Category 2 race on the right-hand side of the screen. I tell you what, they're not that much further down the road, 1.1 kilometres ahead of the Category 2 race. And the Category 2 race still together. So Betty, Skierski, Trojanowski, SS, Nitko. It's a big group. It's a strong group, pretty much like the strength of the group that we saw in that Category 3 race. The Category 1 ride, well, Jason Osborne is doing the ride on his own at the moment. He is pushed on and he's created a huge gap. And I say a huge gap. He has indeed. Jonas Bjarhed is with him. So Bjarhed has dropped from the leading group in Category 2 and has dropped back through the race field. Osborne really tapping out strong rhythm now on his own. Michael Vink on the right-hand side of your screen. In fact, take a look at that. It's over a kilometre difference between Jason Osborne and Michael Vink. Vink coming to the top of the Tel Marib Dune climb now. And really working strongly. So the Tel Marib Dune climb, I can tell you, Jason Osborne sets the fastest time up there. Michael Vink coming through. It's going to be interesting to see what the other riders in the Category 1 race do at that point in time. But Michael Vink, so Jason Osborne sets fastest time up the Tel Marib Dune climb. Then it's the Category 2 field. So Morel, Betty, Trojanowski, Skierski, Nitko and SS. Then Michael Vink in 8th. So Michael Vink's time up there, the 8th fastest time. Stefan van Elst is on charge because he wants to keep that polka dot skin suit. He's been really instrumental in that climbing competition in Category 1. It's going to be interesting to see where he sits now overall as they come to the top of that Tel Marib Dune climb. Well, I'll tell you something. Credit to Stefan van Elst. He has laid the mark down and shown everybody what he wants today, and he's done it again. So Stefan van Elst sets the fastest time up the Tel Marib Dune climb out of everybody. He goes past Jason Osborne. A quicker time coming from the group behind. Osborne in 2, Knudsen in 3, Tugels in 4, Paradians in 5, Kaminsky in 6, Vujasin in 7, dropping Michael Vink down to 14th place. So the pack that are chasing Osborne and Vink moving very well and climbing very strongly. This is the run in Category 2 towards the finish line. They're coming up for 2 kilometres to go. X100, Trojanowski, Betty, Morel, Skierski, Nitko, SS. It's going to be really interesting, the tactics here. Trojanowski going long. This is the climb at the moment. It's a small, gradual climb, shy of 2%. And then they drop over the other side of it, and that's the run to the finish line. Now, Trojanowski trying to break the group on the climb. Interesting move. Morel goes as well. Skierski, SS, Betty, Nitko. Now, if you're on the back of the group, are you trying to save the energy for the sprint, having something to time, because that line will come and will come quickly. But at the moment, Marcin Trojanowski is absolutely dialing this and really wants to break the group, but they're not having it. SS is closing it down. Paul Skierski is doing it as well. JSL Betty is there. Ika Morel now kicking because he doesn't want to lose the back of the group. I think he was trying to save as much energy as possible, but realised you can't save a lot of energy and stay with the group. Here we go. They are on our screen. Nitko, Betty, Trojanowski, they're all up and out the saddle. The work is being done. They've still got, 1,100 metres to go. The top of the climb is coming. They're going to drop down the descent on the other side. Morel, Skierski, Betty, Nitko, Havo is there as well as SS. They are all motoring now in this Category 2 race. This is for the win. This is for the win in the Category 2 race today. Sebastian Havo on the back of the group can see what everybody else is doing. Is he leaving himself too much work to do? Marcin Trojanowski is on the front of the group. Well, is he a target for everybody else? Who's going to take the win? How is this going to go? All I can tell you is this is going to be a sprint for the line in Category 2. They've got 700 metres to go, and SS Trojanowski, Betty Morel. Morel looking like he's going to open up early and open up long. Who's going to go with him? Who's going to sit on it? Where is this going to go? Who's giving themselves the draft to run through to pick up the pace? X100 has launched at 10 watts per kilo. Has he gone too early? They're on the descent. He's utilising the momentum. Momentum is key. Skierski, Morel, Nitko. Nitko opens up. Here's X100 going to take the win today. Can anybody come over the top? Skierski is coming. Havo is coming. Havo is kicked massively. Here they come. They're going to come over the top of X100 and swamp him on the line. Havo, Skierski. Who takes that? That is an absolute photo finish today in that Category 2 race. Betty takes the win from Skierski, from Havo, Nitko Morel, X100, Trojanowski, and SS. That was an 8-up sprint. Well, it's not going to be an 8-up sprint for Jason Osborne. The world champion has ridden away from the rest of the race field. He went on a break with Michael Vink, and Vink not able to stay with him when he put in the attack on the Tel Marib Dune climb. Jason Osborne rode away and has rode away clear. He's got 500 metres to go. He's going to come around the bend and he's going to see the finish line. Michael Vink a little further back down the race field, currently in second place. But today is all about the dominance of Jason Osborne in the men's race. As he comes around the final corner to see the finish line here, that UCI banner, Osborne is going to take the win today in the Category 1 men's race. It's Qualifier 2 in January on the Sunday Race Club. Congratulations, Jason Osborne. So Osborne takes the win. Vink is 1 kilometre back, and Michael Vink clear in second place today on the Sunday Race Club. He's going to come second to Jason Osborne. 1 hour and 2 minutes of racing under his wheels. He's got 900 metres to go. He needs to run down on the descent and then into the finish line. He's passing Dylan Kennett in Category 5 at the moment. But look at that, Kennett upping the pace and giving Vink a run for his money. Who says you can't compete multiple categories when everybody wants that finish line? So Kennett putting in a huge dig, wanting to stay ahead of Michael Vink. Gotta love it when a Category 5 rider wants to take the win from a Category 1 rider. Michael Vink's coming in for second today on the Sunday Race Club in Category 1 as Kennett sits up and lets him go past. You can't get in the way of a finish photo for second place. And Michael Vink takes the snap. It's second place for Michael Vink today in Category 1. Well, at 800 metres from the finish line, this is Stefan van Elst. Van Elst is currently lying third in the Category 1 competition. In the polka dot skin suit, he's been absolutely dominant in that climbing competition, and that has really been his focus. And it doesn't matter where he has been overall in the race field. Climbing has been absolutely his core task today, and he has absolutely achieved that with that polka dot skin suit. But the ABUS esports rider Stefan van Elst from Belgium, well, he's going to see the banner very, very shortly. There he is in the pain cave. As the banner comes into sight, he's going to take third place today. He's 25 seconds clear of the chase behind for fourth, and it is indeed going to be a chase. But Stefan van Elst takes the polka dot skin suit, the climbing competition, and third place today on the Sunday Race Club. Brilliant riding from Van Elst. The chase is on behind because Vujasin, Tugels, they are all in this, and Kaminsky is here as well as Paradians. Paradians has just kicked at 17 watts per kilo. Can he catch Vujasin, or has Vujasin got his timing right? Here he comes because Jasper Paradians goes over the top of Vujasin for fourth place today. Paradians shows us what he's got in that sprint. He goes over the top of Vujasin. He goes over the top of Tugels. Jason Osborne takes the win in Category 1. Michael Vink in 2. Stefan van Elst in 3. Paradians in 4. Vujasin in 5. Tugels in 6. It's on your screen now. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, so Jason Osborne takes the win today in Arabia on the Tel Marib course. 1 hour, 2 minutes, 14 seconds. 1 minute clear of Michael Vink in 2. Stefan van Elst takes 3rd spot. Jasper Paradians wins the sprint from Lionel Vujasin. Leonard Kugels, Michael Knudsen, Michael Kaminsky. That's the top 8. Hayden Pucker comes in 9th, and Johan Noren rounds out the top 10 today. In Category 1, Mikael Plantro comes through for 11th, Arne Jacobs for 12th. And that is the Category 1 standings. Brilliant racing today. Tel Marib has not disappointed for Qualifier 2 in January of 2025. Guess what? Next week, we are back for Qualifier race number 3. The women will be up first, and then it is going to be the men. And January is shaping up to be a phenomenal month. 253 men on the start line today. Let's make it more than 260 next week. Head over to MyWhoosh.com, click on events, and come and join the Sunday Race Club. Come and be part of something that is absolutely epic. It's been fabulous to be with you today here in the studio. My name's Emma Martin. You can follow me on Instagram at biking_Emma. You can also join some live coaching sessions with me on Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday on MyWhoosh. Be great to see you. Well, we're going to see you next Sunday, definitely for Qualifier 3 of the Sunday Race Club. Until then, stay safe, enjoy your riding. We'll see you on Sunday. Goodbye.